What's up, everybody? Good evening. Happy Sunday to you all. Hope the steaming hot weather across the continent is lessening up for all of you. It's not for me all the way up here up north, so I imagine for a lot of you it probably still is way steaming hot. But hope you're doing well anyways on this 23rd of July. And let me see who is in the room so far and say hello. Mr. Red Jack, you're number one again. Finally, it's been a while since you were number one. And you were here 10 minutes early. Good to see you, dude. Marcus, of course. Big applause as always, everybody. Give him a hand. Look at this guy. All the way from San Diego Comic-Con, and he still finds the time to tune in. You're awesome, Marcus. I appreciate you very much. I hope you had a great time at the show. And yes, we'll get it started in a couple minutes. You need comic art content. I know that. Thank you for the welcomes as always, Mr. Red Jack. Appreciate it. Number one Marvel fan, what is up with you? Jason, good evening. Good evening. Epic show tonight. Paul Pappas, wow, very excited. Two collector powerhouses tonight. Great guys as well. There you go. Very much so. As always, my lovely wife, hello to you. And who else do we got here? Paul. The Rickster's in. What's up, Rick? Let's see. Life's been crazy, but thankfully there is a lull tonight for a great show lineup. Good. Glad to hear it. You'll have to email me to tell me what the craziness is all about. And attendees, the exhibit hall is now closed. Nice. Perfect timing. There you go. Salutations. Good to see you, John. Thank you for stopping by. Tariq. What's up, Tariq? Hey, Tariq. It's been a couple of months, 3 months maybe. Maybe, I don't know, either email me or let me know in the chat if your schedule has lessened up a bit, you got time for a show and tell, or do we still have to wait on that? Let me know, please. I appreciate that. John Brown, good evening to you. Aranga, what is up? Good to see you, man. Murdoch, hey. Been a minute, as the kids say. Scotty Wingo, what is up? Evening to you. Kazra, you're back. Double barrel tonight. Yes, sir. Southern Comic Geek, of course. Howdy, folks. Howdy to you, sir. And Rich Cirillo, good to see you, man. So, yeah, as Marcus was asking for, I'm going to bring my two wonderful guests in immediately. Yeah, thank you, Tariq. Appreciate it. Please do that. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me bring them in. First, Rob, Wolvie Fan himself. What's up, sir?
How's it going? Shout out to Cosmo.
Cosmo already getting a shout out. Look at that, man. Wow. Wow. And my other guest, James Siegel. What's up, sir?
Good evening, guys.
How are you doing, man?
I just wanted to do an interview with Hell Santa Claus, so appreciate you jumping on.
Is that what you call him, Hell Santa Claus?
Yep, basically.
Here's to you.
That's a pretty cool name, actually. Hell Santa Claus. I thought maybe Hellacious Santa Claus or something like that, but like Hell Santa Claus. Awesome.
Hells, yeah.
If I can just if I can make a quick toast to everybody. Yeah. Everybody. Here's to you. Here's to me. Friends forever we shall be. If you ever screw me over, fuck you. Here's to me.
Well, we're starting out with a bang there, Rob.
Excellent toast, my friend. I appreciate that. That is very awesome. Vivian, you made a mistake. Welcome, James and Rib.
I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, wait a second. She corrected herself after. There you go. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you, honey. You did the right thing there. Yo, remember those? Free Comic says, remember which? Not sure what you're talking about. You guys know by any chance?
Nope.
Free Comics. I remember the Free Comics.
Okay. James Rick Welch says hello.
Yes.
And
Mr. Welch.
And of course, Tariq as well. Hey, Rob. Hey, James. Double strength tonight. And of course, the same one. Santa Claus. Yes, very much. See, that's a good one. That might even be more appropriate than the Hell Santa.
How the hell is that? Santa Claus don't have a goatee. He's got a big giant beard, and he don't ride a Harley. So whoever said that, you know, who said that? I want to know who else said it. Bricks. I'm out of here.
Where's the audience? Like 30 seconds in.
Azra says that you have a small small mug tonight. What's that?
Yeah, I know. It's my new skull mug. It's it was a gift.
Size.
Some cool skulls on it. It's glass, so it's
okay.
It's fitting for Guinness.
Okay, but he says it's small. Is that true?
It's almost as big as my freaking head.
I mean, he's the one saying it's small. I don't know. I'm like, how big do you want the damn thing, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, freaking 130 pounds, soaking wet. I don't know how big of a mug he can drink from.
Yeah, he's how much? Casters, how many soakings? how many soaking wet?
130.
130. Hey, listen, I've seen Kazar. He's not like he's huge, but he's not 130. But
okay, fine, 136.
I get your point. Hey,
Marky, man. You gotta watch out for him, man. He'll sneak up on you.
All right, so everybody, before we get into the chatting and the well, at least chatting about art tonight, James, I mean, you've been here often enough. I don't know if you stick around long enough to have ever noticed that every now and then I go off on these little tangents and tell like little anecdotes and stuff that are not really necessarily always related to art and shit, right?
I don't associate you with tangents at all, man.
Okay. And Rob, so probably not either. So I just wanted to do this little thing I wanted to bring up, and particularly for you, James, just because, you know, I know you're keeping fit for the last how many years now? When did you start trying to get in shape?
It's a good question. Probably end of mid to end of 2022 or 2020.
What? Yeah. But you were showing off the guns from the second I met you. You were already kind of obviously working out.
It's like 2019. Of course, the world ended at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
And about 6 months through, and I mean, I'm pretty open with the story. My company, thankfully, provided services. You know, it's pretty good benefits associated with the company. And one of those benefits, because everyone went through the pandemic, they all had, you know, it was challenging times, a lot of stress, and they provided online therapy. And I've never done any therapy, never done any mental health. And I was like, you know, stressful time, let's try it. It was fantastic. It was just, and it wasn't so much, I didn't feel like I had anything wrong, just talking, just opening up, just having someone to reflect with. So I'm always a big advocate of mental health as well as physical health. But one of the things we did is built a plan to get to that physical health side as well, in addition to the mental health. And so just started cutting weight. And then after, you know, cutting weight, doing a lot of cardio, I moved over to lifting. And so I've been pretty much.
Would you mind if I'm so very sorry, but can I interrupt just for a quick second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So is it safe to say you had never really been a workout guy until that point?
Oh, dude, no.
Oh.
And I was pushing about 270.
Okay, I was gonna say that. I heard you say once that you used to be a heavy set dude, but I never knew how heavy you meant. I never heard the poundage, right? So wow,
down to about 195, and then it slowly bulking up to about 215.
Wow. So you went from 195 just on losing the weight, and then you gained 20 pounds on muscle, pretty much?
Yep.
Nice.
No.
Nice, man. Congrats. Honestly, sincerely.
Appreciate it, man. It's I mean, again, I know it's not a fitness channel; it's a comic art channel.
No,
but,
that's cool. We'll get to it. Don't
worry.
you,
feel the best of my life, and it just took you know, some focus, some conversations, some self-reflection. And I mean, here's the one thing, and this is kind of opening up. I'm actually scared to go back. So part of that motivation is I don't want to be that person
motivation,
again.
Right? Yeah. I don't
want to be like that again. So
no, I get it, man. I appreciate you sharing that, because like I've worked out throughout my life at various points, but took really huge gaps in between, you know. And so now I'm like 53 almost, and just like Rob, and like my body's been breaking down on me over the years, right? And it's just like, Jesus Christ. And not only is it breaking down, but breaking down makes it harder to, when I want to get back in shape, some of the problems I have make it hard to do certain types of exercises and whatnot, you know? And so it's been tough, but I've been sort of getting slowly back into it over the last couple of weeks. And I got to say, even in 2 weeks, I already feel, my gosh, I feel like I'm 10 years younger. I felt, you know what I mean? Like, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, yeah, it's such a difference. So it's I like to sort of share this kind of stuff with people, because there's always going to be people out there Comic collectors are like anybody else. We're all human beings, and they're all types of body shapes and sizes, and life happenings that people have, and it's good. So you say these kinds of stories, and you hope that somebody out there may be in the same sort of situation we are, and it inspires people in some way. And man, just get up and do something. I'm just walking a lot now. I'm doing some lightweight training, but I'm doing a lot of walking.
I started out doing 10 girl push-ups, 3 sets, 15 crunches, and 3 jumps of the rope, 3 sets, and
that's it. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, no matter how much I work out, and the same with you, Ruben, no matter how much we work out, we're not going to have that illustrious mane that old Rob's got.
Yeah. All right. Fine. I'll trade my mane for some muscles.
Hey, I might take you up on that, man.
Yeah. Jason was asking. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Jason was asking about what I had over my right shoulder. That's from Wolverine number 90, Adam Kubert. It's a 3-page splash of Wolverine and Sabretooth fighting. Almost like a reel, where a camera reel, where it gets bigger and bigger as it comes down. Sorry, we can go back to James's muscles. I like them.
No, dude, no. I'd rather talk about art, but I'll bring up anything.
It's good. We'll get to the art. Like I said, I just wanted to make a mention again, because you're here, James. And like I said, for those.
All right, here's my PSA. Here's my one PSA, and I won't do it again. Unfortunately, I had one of my engineers that I work with pass away a week and a half ago to colon.
A week and a half ago?
Yeah, due to colon cancer. So we all know our ages. We all know, unfortunately, what we have to do to make sure we prevent it. So, medically, go do your thing, and it'll save your life. So I got it too late, and
my last doctor's appointment had the doctor's finger up my ass. So I'm all. I
got one better for you. My doctor, she's a 36-year-old woman, and I didn't mind it at all.
Well, you know what's funny is my former doctor was a woman of roughly the same age, but I kind of minded because her fingers were way bigger than my current male doctor's fingers. So I was like, woo, okay, yeah. But guys, before we get to the art, just real quick, I just wanted to say the reason I asked about this, James, because I wanted to see if you could kind of relate to this at all, or anybody else who's into really watching what you eat in the audience.
Sure.
So again, as I said, I'm trying to watch what I eat because I'm trying to do my exercising now, right? And I'm trying to do a protein, more high protein, less fat type diet. So I had visitors. I had my sister and her brother-in-law come into town yesterday. We spent all day outdoors. So of course we have to have lunch and supper outdoors, right? Everybody eats different things, whatever. Long story short, I end up at both places we went to eating what we know here. I guess it might be the same where you guys live. They're known as protein bowls. Do you have that? Okay.
Yeah.
So they fill a bowl up with like a bunch of foods that have high protein, I guess you can say, right?
Yeah, low carb, high protein.
So then today, and the second bowl was full of what I call quinoa. Everybody seems to say quinoa.
Quinoa.
Okay.
It's good shit.
First time I ever tasted it, whatever. First time I ever ate it, whatever. It was fine. Today, this afternoon, so I take my first bowel movement, right? And I kid you not, James, come on, man. No, don't laugh yet. I swear to God, it was like, I couldn't believe it. I like shit. The Grinch who stole Christmas out of my whatever, like green, like the Grinch, like you needed sunglasses to see how bright the green was. What's up with that? Is that normal?
Hey, ask your doctor, dude.
Wow.
I give no medical advice.
Oh my God.
I have no idea.
Wow. Because you know what? I've eaten like spinach kind of dishes in the past. It kind of changes, right? Dark, a little bit of a dark green color, whatever. But we're talking like the Grinch bright green. I was like, what the hell's going on? Is that what quinoa or whatever you call that stuff?
No, quinoa, no. It's probably the snow cone you ate.
I don't know, but wild anyways. Okay. I was thinking you might relate, and then I'd be like, okay, I don't feel so bad. It might be normal, but whatever. Anyways, everybody, thank you for tuning in again, as I say. I did want to say, because where is she? She said hello. Anyways, I've lost it. But so hi, Karen. Hi to you. Everybody. So Karen's been a bit busier than usual lately, and she has not been able to sort of film new content. But for those of you who remember her appearance about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago on my show, she told a really fun story about how she had gone to a convention in Baltimore back in 2014 and was running through the convention hall like a maniac with her knapsack or whatever, her backpack full of portfolios just to get in line for David Finch, blah, blah, blah. We showed the David Finch piece. And so in case you don't follow her channel, she didn't mention it on that show and tell. But this past week, five days ago or so, she dropped the video on the channel, which was a work in progress, I guess you call it, of David Finch drawing that sketch we showed on the show and tell. So I was like, wow, like I can't believe she didn't even mention that she had actually filmed the whole drawing of the sketch. So if you want to see that, I put the link in the chat. So very, very cool. What else we got here? So David, love this show. Comic art, comics, movies, fitness. Yeah, look at that. You see, James? Never be scared to say anything non-comic related on the show. You know?
There we go.
James is giving me hope that I can shed my extra pound. Do you see that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, honestly, comics are fun.
If anyone has any questions, man, you can always hit me up on CAF. You don't have to.
There you go. There you go. Life is more important than comics and art. It is. So Rob, what is the many paneled piece? Oh, that's the one you asked me earlier. Okay.
Yeah, I answered it to the dude.
Okay, so the key is the diet. Absolutely.
100%.
Evening, Hyger, please email me and let me know if you're going to be ready for availability for the show and tell anytime soon. I need to know. Yeah, email me. Let me know. Mr. Red Jack, this year has been a crap show. It's threw me off my routine. Hard to get back. Yeah, and that's the thing. Once you get off it, it's so hard to get motivated to get back into it, you know? Maybe a week or two. Okay, thanks for the PSA. You see, people are actually thanking you, Jay. I'm telling you, man. Don't ever be scared, at least on this show, to go off topic. Doctors are telling people to do the colonoscopy earlier than 50s. I've always said that, even though most doctors say 50 and above, but especially if you've got risk of cancer. You know?
My buddy, unfortunately, he was under 50.
Under 50. Wow. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I always push for under 50, you know? Nice. I like that, Rick. You know it, baby. I dropped the bomb this morning. I certainly did. But you see, I love that, Karen. Very nice. There you go. There's somebody who's been watching for a while.
We're talking about art there, right?
Days. That's another story, Rob and James, you may have missed in a recent episode that I told. So
it sounds like thankfully we missed it.
Probably. Oh my God! Look, my wife is telling me, yes, it's normal with that Grinch.
God damn, we're old. We're old that we're talking about this stuff, huh? We're all talking about colonoscopies and all that stuff. It's we are getting old, man. It's no joke.
My wife is telling me it was the kale in the salad. Wow, I've never eaten kale either, so I guess that would make sense. So, James, I was 200. Wow, I didn't know that, Kazra. Look what we're learning. 270 plus at 1.2, now 190. Wow, using the kale.
Damn, you were a beast.
Needed change. Everything include curing 14 months of cereal and long. Oh, you also had 14. You had long COVID, and is it permanently gone, Kazra? It sounds like it is. Wow. Wow. Hey, Mickey.
Brief note on Kazra. So,
wow.
He was my highlighted heroes, Ruben. So meeting
Don't take
Kazra
the tired. It turns jet black. Thanks, man. Thanks. You are a stick. You say a healthy stick. Hey, good evening to you, Lee. Good to see you. You're welcome, Karen. Okay, so everybody, yeah. So I just want to let you know quickly that today, as has been happening quite often lately, shockingly, we have about a 2-hour limit, and so it's going to be a short. Well, for my channel, short, and which is good. It works out good for me for once because I didn't get my 1 hour of exercise outside in, and I'm going to have to do it after the show. But so we have that, but because of that, we unfortunately, as excited as I am to have James and Rob here, because I've been wanting to do a mutant / Wolverine X-Men type show for a long time, and as excited as I am to have you guys both here to do that, I have to kind of disappoint the rest of you watching and let you know it's not really a full show and tell. because of the fact that we're very, it's a talkie show and we only have that time limit to go with. So it's actually twice as many guests today, but it's almost half as much art. But it's cool stuff. Anyways, you'll love it, and it'll be fun as always. Anyway, so I appreciate that. We'll talk a bit about that, and in between, hopefully, and maybe also talk about whatever other stuff. We'll show a little bit of art, and you guys, just so you know, because we didn't talk about it earlier. If you're cool with it, the way I set up the art pieces is I decided to just put one for you, one for the other, one for you, one for the yeah.
Perfect.
Rob, since you and I don't know each other since recently, I figured I'd do you the honors, and can I start with you? Or is that are you good with that?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I could talk forever.
Okay, cool. Good. I like guys who can talk about their art and tell me what they love about their art and stuff. So that's cool. Okay, so you ready to show the first piece then?
Yeah, I don't know what we're showing. You're going to tell me.
Oh, bring it up.
Well, you're gonna. Well, you gave them to me, so you obviously know what we're going to show, but you don't know the order I'm showing them. But
right.
Yeah, whatever. Once you see it, you can talk about it. All right. So first on the docket, everyone, it is the cover to Wolverine 21, and I don't normally do this, but large art. It's so large, I had to make a mention of just how large. Look at that, 20 by 30. Adam Kubert from this past year, 2020. Fantastic, man. Tell us a little bit about that one, Rob.
So that's the cover to Wolverine 21. Adam Kubert has been doing a lot of those Wolverine covers in 20 by 30. I picked this piece, with the latest news of Deadpool dropping the pick of Wolverine. So I figured, let me throw a couple Wolverine Deadpool pieces up here. It's the big pieces, Adam doesn't sell them often. So whenever I got the opportunity, I'm taking it. And when this one came up, I said, I got to have it. It's gorgeous. The bullet, nice and close to bullet shots coming through. You see the water, and it's just a great piece. I love it.
Yeah, what's funny on this one, Rob? We all saw that at Bill's house, right in Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
And Adam was there, and I had this conversation with Adam where I have this Phoenix piece that's gorgeous. It's massive, and his wife is a big fan of Phoenix, as you might know. And he was like, I'll possibly trade you. And I was gonna grab this cover for the Phoenix. It would have hurt me because I love that other piece. And then his wife backed out at the last minute. So, but I'm glad you got it because it stays kind of in the family. But it's massive and it's gorgeous.
Beautiful and huge.
Yeah, and Rob, I'm curious. Did Adam ever tell you, or did you ask him why he will only do like large pieces this large on occasion? Like, why does he suddenly decide to do, let's say, a 20 by 30 piece and then revert back to the usual size, let's say?
So, I'm fortunate to be friendly with him, and we get together every once in a while. And yes, he has brought up why he's been doing these big pieces, because I think, as he gets older and he wants to do like a nice gallery display, he believes those big giant 20 by 30s in a frame are going to really show well. So that's why he's been doing a lot of 20 by 30s. I mean, not everything, but even the new Spider-Man India, all those covers, gorgeous covers, are all 20 by 30. He's trying to stay with the 20 by 30 look. And let me tell you, man, if you haven't seen it, it's so gorgeous. I can show you pictures in my room here, and it just doesn't do it justice. It's tremendously huge. It's huge, bigger than a double page splash. It's just huge, and it's so impressive.
It's slightly more than 2 inches taller than 2 regular boards on top of each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that would be two boards on top of each other, including the borders, would be 34 inches. Or no, sorry, 2 inches shorter, I guess, is what I'm trying, or whatever. What did it work out to? 34, sorry. So I'm sorry. Bad math today. 4 inches shorter, right? Because it would be 34 inches. But yeah, 30 inches. I mean, Jesus, it probably in person must feel like it's like a movie poster,
That's exactly what I think he's trying to do, the effect of a movie poster, because again, they display so nice when you frame them. I mean, I have a Hulk one. I have so many, and they're huge. They don't. I'm going to show you, if you don't mind. I'm going to turn it, and you can see two pieces. One's a 20 by 30 and one's an 11 by 17 to get an idea of the size. I don't know. Can you see that over there? The Wolverine and the two Wolverine covers.
Hold on a second. You know what we'll do? Well, hold on a second, Rob. What I'll do is I'll get us back on the screen, and I will put you. Hold on a second. Hold on. Don't move it around. Don't move it around.
Okay.
Let me do this so you can. Okay.
So can you see on that wall the 11 by 17 above the 20 by 30? How massively different they are.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Tell you what I really appreciate about Adam, he's a legend in the comic, right? He's been doing Wolverine since the 90s. He's been in comic. He comes from that legacy.
Comic book royalty.
He's always refining, and he's always trying and experimenting and doing something different. He hasn't settled on his laurels. He hasn't faded off in the sunset. I would say, I'm a 90s guy. Everyone knows that, right? Yeah. But his art he's doing now is some of the best of his career.
Oh, no, it's not
collect the 90s, but
for me, it's not, excuse me, it's not some, it is the best work of his career. He's gotten better, period. I get when you say some, it's because you want to leave a little bit of leeway for remembering that old stuff because it's so nostalgic.
Actually, let me rephrase. It's the best ever. Ignore the old shit.
Right. Yeah, leave it all for you. Yeah. You'll take it off everybody's hands, I'm sure. But no, it's fabulous. He's developed a lot, right, since back then, and it's still really cool to see obviously that old stuff because he was. With those genes he has from his dad, him and his brother, they were so good so early on in their careers anyways, They were already really, really well accomplished artists even back then, 30 years ago. So yeah, it's that you can still look at that stuff and a lot of it holds up. And it's just, he's just even better now. Him and his brother.
Isn't a conversation or a question from the audience, though? I don't know this, but it feels like with his runs on Wolverine, he's coming back to Wolverine. Is he like the Mark Bagley of Wolverine? Has he done more Wolverine than anyone else?
Oh, I would say yes.
I don't know. How many? Do you have any idea how many issues it's been? Or?
So I can tell you, from the 90s, because I'm trying to put all of the covers together. Me and Adam Perlman are trying to put all the covers together, and he did from 75 to like 115. So right there, you got 30 or 40. Plus, he started again in 2008. He did a run, and then he did another run in like 2013. And then he just did this run in 2020. I can't think of anybody that's done Wolverine more than he has. If you go to the CBR site, CBR.com. They list the 10 best Wolverine artists, and they put him as number one. And I gotta agree. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God. You can look, and I don't care how great Jim Lee draws, but Adam Kubert for me is a definitive Wolverine artist. Period. Wow. He's done it for so many years. So I don't know. That's. I guess it's my opinion. That's it's subjective, but I think.
Of course it's subjective, but no, if we're talking about just sheer volume. Because we already know he's got the quality. We don't have to talk about the quality, but for sheer volume, I'll take your word for it. I would be shocked, not because of any reason other than I haven't really followed the last 20 whatever years of Wolverine closely, right? So I'd be shocked only for that reason. In fact, when you brought it up, I was kind of surprised that you said that because, or James said that because when I think of Bagley, I'm like Bagley Spidey. I'm like, wow. Just the Ultimate title alone was 100 some odd issues, right? And then he had the initial run on Amazing, right? You add that in, and then in the last 10 years, he did all these little mini series that are related to Spidey, right? So it's like I don't know if anybody can sort of match that, but I get what you're saying, James. So yeah,
just off the top of my head, who else could it be?
Yeah, right. That's a good way to put it. Exactly.
Not Buscema. Even though that was some early stuff, but
yeah,
it's gotta be.
Murdoch wants us to know. Sorry, but Marc Silvestri on Wolverine.
He's good. I mean,
don't be sorry. That's your opinion, Murdoch. You're allowed to it. That's cool.
I got something for Murdoch that we're going to show in a little bit. I got something for you, brother. Don't you worry. I know who Marc Silvestri is. Okay.
The way I say, I love Silvestri on Wolverine. Absolutely. Adam Kubert's my favorite overall Wolverine. But Marc Silvestri has that 1-2 punch of just killing X-Men and killing Wolverine.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Silvestri fan, but I'd put him up there.
Yeah. So Jason wants to know from you guys. Okay, so what sticks more? The first artist you saw, I guess in your memory, right? Drawing your favorite character, or someone who comes later and does it really well? Because before you answer, I just want to quickly say, Jason, in most cases, in my experience, what I've observed from other collectors, most people tend to always love the one that came first, because that's what sticks with you so much, because it was the first thing that, stuck with you. But you guys go ahead and let me know what you say about that.
You first, Rob.
Okay. So I call myself Wolvie Fan. I love Wolverine. When I was a kid, we were heading to Florida. My mom stops at the stupid little gift shop and buys me a 4-pack of comics. Happens to be the miniseries, the one that Frank Miller did. Freaking awesome Wolverine. It's one of the, in my opinion, one of the best, storytelling of Wolverine. Loved it. So that grew my passion of being a Wolverine fan. But once I started seeing art like Silvestri's and Adam Kubert's, I really fell in love with the artist as opposed to the character.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not surprised. Kazra says some way out of the norm. Kent Williams,
they're probably boys, right? They've probably been to bars together, knowing Cosmo. No, to me, I mean, nostalgia. This hobby. There's some collectors that I've talked to that really, really look at art and technique, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, it's just what they're drawn to. To me, nostalgia is huge. Like, I mean, I'm a '90s Marvel collector, and a lot of the '90s stuff is objectively ugly. But it hits me right here.
James, can you repeat that again? The last line, something of objectively ugly.
Rob is some of the '90s stuff. A lot of people think it's objectively ugly. There was some crazy. Well, I think a lot of it is fueled, of course, the storytelling for a lot of issues wasn't the strongest in the kind of mid-late '90s. But I loved it. That's what I grew up in. And, a lot of the coloring techniques at the time really brought down the art, right? A lot of there was,
the early digital stuff, you mean?
Yeah. And muddled it a lot. And so a lot of the art didn't shine through. And it's actually one of the reasons I do like the collect 90s stuff. It's the nostalgic hit. But when you see the original art, you're just like, man, that's so much better than what I see in the book for a lot of that stuff.
When you strip the color out, it's usually better, right? Like for sure. I've always
especially that decade.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, sounds good. Real quick before we go over to your first piece, James, though, either of you can take this question. I'm curious because again, I stopped reading and collecting in '93, came back around 2000, 2001, but I didn't come back as a regular weekly guy, and so I didn't really closely follow, as I was saying earlier, like the Wolverine stuff and the artists of that era. So to this day, I'm still not, I don't remember, I always get confused. I always forget which brother did what. Like one of them was famous for X-Men and the other one famous for Wolverine. Is that how it goes? I always confuse them.
Andy's X-Men, Adam is Wolverine, though they both did both. Okay. But from a run perspective. And Andy, X-Men 25, when Wolverine loses all of his adamantium, that was Andy. But the first, when Wolverine pops his bone claws for the first time, that's Adam.
That's Adam. Oh, God. No, okay, so I have a legit reason to be confused because even people who read comics much longer than I did are probably still getting them confused, I would think. No?
Oh, I mean, you can be like Larry Toon, and when you talk to Adam Kubert, call him Andy, so.
Don't do that.
I'm sure they both get that at cons all the time. I bet you,
No.
Even when the signs there on top of them, saying who they are, kind of thing.
They don't even look alike. They don't get. I've never, speaking to them, I've never heard that. But let me tell you just something real quick about the '90s. People always ask me why do I buy so much of Adam's art. So in the '90s, I think it's one of the biggest decades for comic art. Comic anything pop. Nostalgia. It really fueled a lot. I know people hate some of the art that was happening because there was a lot of clones and people copying each other. We can go through all of them. So why I love Adam's art is because it was so fresh and so his own. I like Andy and I like all those other guys, but for me, a lot of it was Jim Lee cloning, Rob Liefeld, as crazy as that sounds, Pacella and all these guys were cloning him. And, Adam did his own thing. Wolverine 90 for me was probably one of the best issues in the 90s because of how he displayed the book with 3-page splashes and 4-page splashes. So I don't know. For me, he was very, very different. A breath of fresh air. He wasn't another Bagley or a Larson or even for argument's sake, his brother who did Jim Lee so well. I just thought it was different, and that's why I loved his art. I mean, I know John Byrne's awesome and Frank Miller's badass, but for me, when I had my store and I saw what was going on, Silvestri also jams, dude, but the guy left to go to Do Image. For me, the definitive Wolverine artist is Adam, and he also had a very different style, and I think James would agree with me compared to a lot of the other artists at the time.
Daniel Evan definitely agrees with you. He's telling you, yes, spot on.
Awesome, so, thank you. I really like this guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the one thing on the 90s,
Daniel in Ashton.
It's easy.
It's hard for you, brother. Give me your address.
All right. Cigar giveaways. It's fantastic. Health in the beginning. No, just kidding. So, I mean, the one thing in the 90s, though, is more comics were sold. I mean, you had Spider-Man, that I saw a documentary on Rob Liefeld recently on YouTube. That was short and it was really good. But I didn't realize Spider-Man was the #1 comic Todd McFarlane sold, and then Rob came back and X-Force was the #1 comic ever sold, and then Jim Lee came back and X-Men was the #1 comic ever sold.
Yeah, they kept each one subsequently kept outdoing the previous one, right?
So
remember?
Millions and millions of these things, and we all picked them up, we all read it, we all speculated. So. Yeah.
See, Fang's got a point, but I'm not going to say it's a good point because there were some great storylines in the 90s. We can talk about Executioner's Song. We can talk about Age of Apocalypse. Dude, I mean, there was some great shit back then. I think that's being a little tough on that decade. Definitely art was over story, but there were some badass crossover stories back then, in my opinion.
Actually, so Jason had that comment. He preferred Adam over Andy. I heard he likes John Romita Jr. better than everyone.
He's a putz.
Especially the modern stuff, I'm sure you're going to say.
No.
Yeah, he's been the guy buying.
By the way, just FYI, I actually love his whole career, all of it. So that's where I'm
JR. I like it, right? Because it's, I mean, again, it's the nostalgia hit for me.
Yeah. And Rich, and just so I want to point that out, Rich and Murdoch, both of you, I don't think Alan Davis is underrated. I think he's more than earned his share of kudos.
Absolutely.
I'm on that train too. He's awesome. He's always been awesome. So I don't think he's underrated at all. Yeah. Good
luck trying to get his Excalibur pages. No, he did it right.
Yeah. Marcus, the reason we're talking Wolverine when Cyclops is the leader.
Well, everyone defaults. I mean, everyone knows Cyclops is the best X-Men.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say.
I just wanted to, I'm trying to support the underdog here. I mean, no one really talks about Wolverine. He's never really featured in anything. Cyclops is just all over the place. So
he never makes guest appearances. Exactly. That's the whole problem.
Tattooed on the arm. No, none of that. So.
Yeah. So okay. So yes, Extinction Agenda. Put that up against any crossover season. Again, that was your thing. Exactly. I can find just as many people who will say, "Oh God, I was hating it by that point." Whatever. It is what it is.
I agree with everything Murdoch says. Extinction.
But you definitely are agreeing with everything he says. You guys are definitely on the same boat tonight for sure. Yeah. So, okay. So let us get on to your first piece, James. Shall we?
What do we got?
We are showing I believe it's a giant piece, Ballistic.
Oh, okay.
Wolverine, vertical double page splash by Benitez and Arvin Sowd.
Yeah, so a couple things. I mean, every one of our picks, Rob and I talked about it. We focused on Wolverine, and the reason for that is because at the time the announcement came up, he's going to be in Deadpool 3. We saw the blue and yellow suit. It's pretty topical. So, all of our picks are going to have Wolverine on it. So if you're a DC fan or if you think, you hate Wolverine, it's going to be a long show, but stick with us anyway, right?
How can you hate Wolverine? What the hell?
This one, interesting story on this one. So I had a page from this book, Ballistic Wolverine, that I got from Tatiana during a sale because she reps Benitez. It was a nice page. And I've always, this one has been on calf for a decade, and I always wanted it. It was for sale 10 years ago, and I've hit the guy up 2 or 3 times and he's never, ever responded. He's never really checked calf. And then randomly, I'm in Oklahoma, unfortunately, but I am. And one of the things that we have in Oklahoma are thunderstorms, right? Tornadoes and all that. Thunderstorm comes through. I can't sleep through them. I wake up in the middle of the freaking night. I jump on Facebook. It's for sale on Facebook, this page that I've been trying to get for years.
Facebook? Oh, by the guy who had it on cap?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hit him up, and it's in Australia.
Oh.
So,
but had he when you were reaching out to the guy, had he not been responding, or he was just saying no?
No, he didn't. He's never signed on. Right now you can see when the last time someone signed on calf, it was like 8 years ago or something, right? So he's never signed back on a calf. He did after I told him, hey, I sent you like 3 messages over the years. He goes, oh, let me look. So it shows him signed on now. I think the piece is still there, but it's just gorgeous. The art was awesome. I didn't do too much top cow as Marvel, but it was a cool art, vertical DPS. I used to, I bought a whole bunch of DPSs. They're my favorite art. I used to have like 25 of them, and slowly through trading and consolidation and opening up.
Sorry, how many did you say you had?
I had like 20, 25, 28 DPSs at one point. But now, it's only like 9. I'm not the DPS king anymore. Yeah, down to 9, yeah.
Wow, so funny. It's funny too, James, because it's funny how you can get rid of that many, like more than half, and yet everybody, I bet you if you took a poll, everybody will still refer to you as the DPS guy,
Yeah. But there's a lot of, there's a lot of people in the audience now that, dwarf me on DPSs. But it's all good, man. I still think it's the best value for the dollar if you can get a solid, I'll use Dino's term because he's in the audience, like the Falcon one, that centralized image. It's just impressive. Kind of like where Adam does that large size art, for his covers. You walk into a room, you see something big. Actually, in my room, when people walk in, the first thing they notice are the statues because they're big and bold. So
yeah.
Hey, I got a quick question. How do I join the chat? If I click it, it keeps telling me connect.
Sorry, Rob, hold on. So you can't join the chat through the software that you're in. You would have to open the go to another browser and go to the YouTube channel through that browser and enter your comments through there, as if you were just watching it like a fan,
Yeah, no, forget that. That's too much work.
Okay.
Just jump on YouTube, dude. We're providing technical support in real time.
I will say, I don't know when it's supposed to be starting. I thought it was already supposed to have started, but the software company StreamYard, they had said a couple of weeks ago that they were introducing the feature where the on-screen guests could finally start to enter their own comments from the studio. So I was hoping it would have been by tonight. Sorry, but yeah.
Hey, real quick, because we thought me and Rob talked about it beforehand. Yeah. What do you do during the day, Ruben? Which I know outside of doing the deal. What's your day job?
It's not a job. I invest money, family money, basically. Yeah. Okay. And then art is. So basically, when art's going well, I kind of focus on that. And then when that if it slows down a bit, which it's always up and down, then I focus more on the investments and let's go back and forth, whatever. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. But you might as well ask. Since you asked, I might as well ask you. What is it precisely that you do?
I work for Cisco, which is the technology company. Yeah. So business to business sales, account management.
Okay.
Yeah, they do well. I enjoy it. So I've always been in technology sales.
That's key. You got to enjoy what you do. A lot of people don't, right? So it's so key. So glad to hear that you do enjoy it, man. Okay, so you guys ready to switch over? Rob, ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
All right. So from there, let us go to this one. Another 20 by 30 Humongo piece, Wolverine 23 cover by, again, Adam Kubert.
Why you say it like that?
I have a feeling. Something tells me I'm gonna be saying it a few times tonight, though.
I bet you it's only one more, wise guy. So this is, again, he doesn't sell. And I kept busting his chops. I said to him, it's an homage to number 88, where Deadpool's doing that to Wolverine. And I said, listen, dude, the next best thing is getting the homage, so please sell it to me. I own the original 88, which hopefully will show. And begrudgingly he gave in, and I bought it, and I framed it, and I put it right next to the other one. But I just love the homage. It's so cool. I hope they do that in a movie. It's I don't know. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I love homages. I love throwbacks. I'm nostalgic for it. So I thought it was excellent. I love the big 20 by 30 size, and especially the homage. So that's after twisting his arm for many, many months, he finally gave in.
Yeah. Who's the blue lady?
It's Blue Lady.
Is that Damage? Is that her name? Damage? Is that her?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't read comics, but I know that it's something that was. The comic was they go to a house and there's some lady haunting the house, and this is the broad who slices and dices them.
Oh,
I don't know her name.
Oh, she looks like that girl Damage from around the mid 2000s, but I wasn't really reading it. I just know the girl Damage because she was in some X-Men art that I had been selling on consignment. So. Okay, maybe it's not her. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's badass, like Rick says. And Maki Poo Poo says, sweetness. Yeah, very
Thanks.
Cool. Of course, you got the requisite X with the swords, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Nice. Next, as Dino says, of course, the cross swords X is very cool. Absolutely. Yeah, shish kebab. Karen says, wow. And Jason says, I love getting homage pieces when I can't afford the original. I think a lot of people do. That's a fair statement, right? I mean,
yeah, and you're right. It is Danger.
Oh, okay, excellent. So Jason, Danger, the physical incarnation of the Danger. Right. Okay, so that is her. Excellent. Wow.
You owe him a cigar, Rob. You owe him a cigar.
Oh my God.
My cigars ain't cheap, man.
I can't believe that I haven't read regular comics like X-Men, mutant stuff in like 20 years. I can't believe I figured that out before either of you guys. I'm like, wow.
Dude, I don't read comics. Friggin' James sent me this awesome book that I never read in my life. What was it, James? And I read it, and it was fantastic. When Wolverine
versus Wolverine?
No, the Wolverine in the future or some shit, and the Hulk is killing people. Old Man Logan. I never read that in my life. And this guy sends me the graphic novel and the trade paperback, and I loved it. I don't read comics anymore. I haven't read them in years, but I love the art. And that was a killer story. I said, man, I got to start buying art from this guy. And James says, good luck. It ain't going to happen.
Rob, Jason Ladwig wants you to know that he only does Cohibas.
The Esplendidos? I got those too, my friend.
I prefer to not inhale anything, but except for oxygen, Although I admit I did smoke once, when I was an younger idiot,
And this is being recorded, Ruben.
I mean, who's gonna hear it? That I don't even know if actually my daughter knows that, but okay. Anyways, maybe she might now. But okay. Yeah. All right, James, you ready for your next piece?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Let us get to that one, and with that, we go to the Sabretooth Classic number 12 cover by the late great Mike Wieringo and inker John Lowe from mid-90s, 1995. Your favorite period. And many other people's favorite period here. Yeah, man. Yeah.
This one, I mean, there's not really so much of a story around it, but the fact that it checks so many boxes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wolverine versus Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Gorgeous cover. Ringo, of course, a lot of the stuff was penciled. And so, to find something inked, I felt was a little bit special. And this one came, I think, from an Albert Moy drop where I saw it on Instagram before his drop because he does a preview. And I'm like, whatever it is, I'm going to get it. So when it dropped, and it in typical Albert fashion, he is an enterprising fellow that, prices the art on the edge. And but we made the stretch and we got it, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You don't have to name numbers, of course. When you got it, did you feel like, oh, it's high, but I guess I'll get it? Or was it, hey, that's pretty good, I'll get it?
Dude, I don't typically like I have gone over 5 figures on art, absolutely, but I don't like to. This is $12,000. I mean, you can go call it a art tracker and it'll still be on there. Yeah.
Holy crap! Wow.
So, and then, how many Ringo pieces are that much? Probably not too many, but how many look like this? So, I don't know, man. It's not going anywhere. It's on the wall for a while. It's actually, you know what I did? You see all my art on the back wall.
Yeah.
I recently, I can flip it over.
You want us to show that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. And I'll talk about that real quick because.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a second. Mark says, kind of bugs me when the pop claws are longer than Logan's forearm. Well, I don't know. Sometimes some people like the longer ones. Some like the shorter ones.
I mean, if it was anatomically correct, it would only. Yeah, if it was only anatomically correct, it'd only stick out like 4 inches. And we all know.
Oh no! When they're really short, it's horrible. I'd rather them be overly long than overly short. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think most people would say, "Oops, sorry," go for that. But let me get you large here, and you can show us what you want to show.
Yeah, I mean, I've got art on the back wall. I've got there's art above me. There's art all around. And originally, actually, how I got into original art, I read you, of course, and that brought me back into comics. And I looked up Rob Gilroy and saw he was selling art. I was like, holy shit, that's pretty amazing. And first page was $150, which blew my damn mind. I got it. Well, when I bought it, I'm like, what am I doing paying $150 for a piece of paper? Got it in. Was that
like 2016-ish or so?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh.
And then when I got it in, it's over. Everyone is done. And it's the first time I see original art. It's big, it's detailed. You love it. But I moved into the house, my house, and I needed something for the walls. And so I was like, let's throw art on the walls. And that's how, I started doing things. So everything on my wall was 100% original art until Heroes. And one of the things that I got tired of doing is when we're having tornado sirens is pulling all that shit off the wall, putting it in the closet,
right? Yeah,
and then putting it back on the wall. So I went through a project where I pulled all my art off the wall, and everything behind you is high quality scans. So I wasn't going to be the high quality scan guy, but I got to. I got to keep the art safe at this point because from an asset perspective, and the collectors know you don't like it's a fun hobby and buy what you love and all that kind of stuff until you start pulling out the calculator and going, oh shit, I got to protect this. So that's what we did.
Yeah. Can I just ask how often would you say that those tornado warnings happen?
Yeah, about maybe I would pull it off the wall maybe twice a year.
Okay.
But there's a lot.
I mean, not that that's not scary, but yeah. I was thinking you were going to say like, once every 4 or 5 weeks or something. No. Okay.
Just a couple times a year, and thankfully where we live, we get the warnings, and knock on wood, we don't get the results. It's typically a little bit south and a little bit north. It likes to split our area. But you still got to take precautions.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You feel like when it never happens, you're like, I can see how easy it would be to say for people in your area to say like, forget it, man. It never actually hits us, forget it, leave it. But then that's the one time it's going to hit you, right?
Yeah. Everything's insured. Don't get me wrong, but
no, I know, but you don't want it to get damaged in the first place. It's not about getting insured and getting paid back. You want the art, not the insurance return, right? So
yeah, it's same here in South Florida. The damn hurricanes. Paul can tell you too. Paul Pappas, he lives down here, and those freaking hurricanes. They tell you it's coming, and it makes a goddamn turn, and you're like, shit, what the hell? It's the same thing. You don't know. It sucks. I definitely probably. I mean, the tornado's way worse, I think. But yeah, it's no fun. The weather, no fun at all.
Yeah, I can imagine. Especially, that annual hurricane stuff that you guys have to deal with. It's like scary, man.
Bull crap, yep.
And Jason wants you to know, James, he'll store the art in Michigan if you want.
I told him, deal, man. We can go to that OSU Michigan game or that team up north because I used to live in Columbus. Nothing personal. I'm a Sooner.
James.
I'm a Sooner. Everyone knows I'm a Sooner.
I know you're a Sooner. I just wanted to. Is anybody from Ohio here tonight? Because there's a lot of collectors from Ohio. Anybody from Ohio? Because I got to say, look, you guys know I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan. And I just want you to know real quick, even I might be able to read a little bit something about Ohio State, the enemy, right? I actually picked up this book. It just got delivered yesterday from Amazon. Check it out. Everything great about Ohio State football, the Undisputed Compendium, right? I'm like, I got to read what's so great about Ohio State football. Check this out. Oh my God, it's jam-packed. Jam-packed.
He's doing Oppo research.
Look at that. Look at all that greatness.
Hey, that could be your sketchbook at cons.
Oh, that's funny as hell. I thought you were serious.
I'm very serious. That's how much is great about Ohio State football.
I was right about to
fucking nothing.
I was right about to start arguing Jimmy Johnson's Hurricanes from the 90s, and that's I don't have to.
And just FYI, Rob, we have gone on football tangents in the past on this show, so it's not so out of the ordinary. But we will keep it to the art, everybody. Before we move to the next piece, let me just quickly check in case I fell behind on a couple of. Maki Poo Poo says, how do you insure all the art? Who do you use, James? That's a good question.
Collect Insure.
Collect Insure.
Pretty much. I'll tell you.
Is that the one? It used to be known as CIA, Collector Insurance Agency. Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I mean, the change happened a long time ago before you were in, so you might not know about that.
I'll tell you, and how it typically works, and I've had some questions that Maki Poo Poo asked too, but anything over 25K, you've got to declare the piece individually and try to get as much collateral information as you can. Anything less than 25K, you don't have to declare. But the thing that I like it the most is it ensures shipping and receiving. So if you're doing a lot of shipping and receiving of art, instead of paying FedEx or paying USPS for insurance, technically it's covered. I have heard some challenges with claiming policies on some of that stuff. Yeah. And I've heard a lot of good stories too. So, kind of take it with a semi-grain of salt, do your own research, but it's saved me my premium because I ship and receive a lot of art.
Yeah. No, that's the important thing, because most collectors do some amount of selling as well as buying, right? It's a very common thing with collectors. So it is important that if you can manage to find an insurer for your collection, you get the policy that covers the shipping back and forth both ways, and that's really, really important. So, because that's for most people where they're going to get damage or loss far more than just fire damage or theft from their homes, right?
I'll tell you, I sent Rob, Rob a package, and thankfully it was a very, very low dollar one. The dude's got porch pirates. People jack his shit off his porch because it's the one time I didn't do signature required, and he's got video of guy coming up, grabbing it and running. Wow! Actually, weren't you watching it in real time?
Yeah, we did. We were watching it in real time. So the thing is, it's not porch pirates here. I live out. We all got like 2-acre properties, so the houses are set way back, and the fences are set way into the front. And these freaking guys just drop the package right there by the driveway where the fence is. They don't come all the way up to the house because I guess it's too much of a walk for them. So we got a group of bandits that come through here, and it happens to all of us. They just drive by. The dude, I was talking to him one day, and it was happening. The guy's driving real slow, jumps out of the car, starts grabbing shit, throws it in the car, and just keeps going. I was like, what the hell? It's because we're it's not a porch pirate because they're not coming up to our house. Our houses are set way back. So on 2 acres, it's a long ass walk. So they just drop the stuff right at the gate, and if there's not a signature required, man, say goodbye to it.
Wow. Yeah, that whole porch pirate thing. I mean, YouTube's full of videos of the porch pirate stuff, So I don't know, it's got to happen to some people. You don't want it happening to your expensive art, that's for sure, No. But okay, so let us move on, gentlemen. Usually ship high-value items to my office. You got to do what you got to do, Maki Poo Poo. Whatever you feel is safer, obviously,
Fence pirates, exactly. Fence freaking pirates.
Yeah, it sucks. Of course, Hydra, have a P.O. box. Yeah, some people do that too. Yeah, for all art purchases, it's a must and worth every penny. Yeah, and Karen says that sucks. Sorry. Yeah, it's all over the country. It's in America. There's a lot of places. I mean, because I see it on YouTube all the time. I'm just shocked at the actual sheer level of just audacity from people to just walk by in broad daylight. And some of them are like in like these teams. They drive around in cars. So you got getaway drivers and a couple of people in the back to jump out quick and rob you and jump back into the car. It's like crazy, man. So
do you ever watch that Mark Rober guy on YouTube, the engineer who creates those?
Oh yes. Yeah. Those are awesome, right? Oh my God, that is so good. The fart smell. Oh my God, all that shit that comes out.
He's fantastic. I think his latest one, little drones pop out and start filming shit around.
Oh, the drones, yeah. That was awesome too. Exactly. It was like, holy shit! Like man, that guy's awesome. Like, what an engineer that guy is. Drones popping out. Like what? Yeah. That's.
No, I like what Karen says. I got to get that damn glitter bomb. I love that idea.
Yeah. But it's not enough. You got to get the glitter with the fart spray and all that stuff, all the good stuff.
And you know they're all watching us. So as soon as I start typing in bomb, I'm gonna have people at my door. Hey, what are you doing out here looking for bombs? So no, but yeah, I love that idea.
Check it out. Hydra's saying a woman in Austin stole a 12-foot skeleton around Halloween time last year. Broad daylight. A 12-foot skeleton. Like, come on, man. What the hell? That's whatever. That's crazy. But all right, let us get on. Let's move on from the stink bomb, glitter bomb stuff, and check out the next piece, everyone. So from Mike Wieringo, we go to back to Rob's collection, and I put this one here because let me quickly show you this. So this is what we last showed. And as you notice there, under the sides of the piece, I mentioned it was the homage to the Wolverine 88 cover. And so now we go to Rob's next piece, and that will be
boom,
88 cover, ba-boom.
Freaking awesome. That's the key. And James will tell you a story about that piece that's way better than mine. That's the movie coming up, man. I bet you they show that in there. That's it's iconic. It's key. Everybody loves it. You know, you see it all over the place. Adam Kubert just started doing what is it called? The lithos or whatever the hell it is. He just started. He put it on his post, a big giant 10 by not 10 by 16, bigger, like 16 by 20 that he's selling. That's yes, I'll be at OAX for sure. And it's one of my favorite pieces. It's iconic. It's people love to say it's the first Deadpool Wolverine. That crap I don't care about. I just love the art. I love
I'm sorry to interrupt, Rob. Is this the first time they meet?
That's what I don't know, dude. But that's what everybody tells me.
Yes, it's the first time they meet and the first time they fight.
Oh, yep. That's worth mentioning. I mean, it's kind of two super popular characters. It's kind of worth mentioning.
It's a semi-key, man. And so you might know Dan. God, I always butcher his last name. Duke Fleet, right? Dan Marciano. I don't know. He's Canadian too. But Duke Fleet had this. The longest time, I'm like, Dan, if you ever think about selling it. Yeah, if you ever think about selling it. And then he popped it up for $8,500. I'm like, okay. At the time, that was bad timing. I'm going to figure it out. It's gone. I'm like, so this is my biggest regret. And I've offered Rob $8,600, $8,700. We will not sell that shit. But that's one of the those ones that got away type thing. This one, I add this one to the list.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in a good home, buddy.
Yeah.
And so, did you give Dan any shit for not sort of reaching out or whatever?
Dan and I have a long odd couple relationship. Very good friends. One of my closest friends in the hobby. I give him a lot of shit for a lot of things, but he's also hooked me up in a lot of great ways, and vice versa. He's a true soul, right? He's also a little awkwardness that we work through. Social context he works on, but he's a good dude.
He admits it. He knows he's had issues with social, awkwardness and whatever. And I'll tell you, he used to be super, super shy. I used to see him at the local conventions, for years. And
he'd be a good interview for you.
Sorry?
He'd be a good interview for you.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, you know, he's been on the first round table I did. He was part of that.
Yeah.
But you know, he knows I'd have him on any time. He's my friend, right? Like he's not comfortable on camera, so
yeah,
you know, yeah. So
but you know, I mean, I'll say it again. Just like as a person, just one of those genuine individuals.
Oh yeah. Wonderful guy for sure. Mm-hmm. I just saw him back the last 2 weekends ago or whatever.
His con, like this is what I didn't realize. Like, so he works these cons, right? And when we go to cons, heroes, and whatever. Go to OAX. I'm gonna plug it there. But you got your tables. Yeah. He's got 40 tables or 30 tables at a con.
I know.
He's got one of the most giant displays out there. And I've seen pictures of it. It's insane. The dude, and he works it, and he's got a crew that works it, and I had no idea. He sells a lot of what's those little big head bottle things? Funko Pops.
Oh, Funko Pops. Yeah.
Yeah, pricey and spicy. I mean, I've gotten some pretty crazy offers for it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
80 right in here, right now. 8,900.
I'd love to, man, but it's a tough one.
So tempting, James. Wow. Rob, how do you not say immediately yes? Here, take it. You know.
I got offered 10 times that already. I don't know.
All right, let us take a look at your next piece, James.
Sure.
And one of these memorable comics for me back when it came out. I think I was 16 at the time. This is fun. Mark Bright and Al Williamson, a legend on the ink. Spider-Man versus Wolverine, page 55. I remember loving it not only because of the team up of the two awesome characters, but I thought, oh wow, how lucky are we to get this awesome thick. Like I don't know if it seemed like it was more than double sized or something, or is it just my memory?
And it was premium paper. It was double size. It's like 50, 60 pages.
Yeah.
And a couple. I mean, this is like one of my first books. I didn't read it when it first came out because I would have been 8.
Well, you're too young, yeah.
Yeah, pretty short afterward. And a couple things. First, the tone was completely different than a lot of comics I read at the time. Wolverine and Spider-Man actually fought, and hopefully you guys have read it. But Wolverine kills someone, and that's canon, right? So I was able to get 2 of these pages from a collector from this issue, and they don't come too often. And what's interesting is I bought 2 pages, this fight scene and another one in the fight scene, like in the graveyard, which is kind of the iconic fight scene.
Yeah.
And then going, hey, these things never come up for sale. And then shit you not, like a month and a half later, not only do they come up for sale, but the climax of the entire book, the panel Wolverine punches and kills the bystander, and then the aftermath of where she actually dies came up on HA. And so I'm like, you know what? It's time to ball. It's time to go. So I don't have them in hand yet, but I won both pages. So I will have the fight scene, kind of the intro to the fight scene, and then actually the climax where he kills the lady or he punches the lady, and she dies in Wolverine's arms. So I'm really excited about that stuff.
Okay, I'm not sure what you mean Spider-Man, Derek. Hi, Derek, by the way.
Spider-Man punched the lady.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if I misspoke on that one, but yeah, I mean, basically they're fighting. Quick. We'll give the down and dirty plot. KGB, Cold War, Berlin Wall, spy issues, and this lady wants Wolverine to kill her. And they're lovers, and she's basically suicide by Wolverine. He's about to do it. Spider-Man comes at the wrong instance, sees it's about to happen. He says, "What are you, a nutcase?" And they start fighting. Right. And this is one of the things that's interesting about this page. If you look at the top. I don't know how it's on my screen, but the top panel where he says he'll kill me if he gets the chance, that actually fell off. Some of these are paste-ons. It actually fell off, and some of the writing on there was completely different. It said, "I'm scared to death to die." Like it was a completely different tone originally.
Wow.
And so this is like Spider-Man's first fight where he thinks he's actually going to die. Yeah. And then the lady taps him on the shoulder. He thinks it's Wolverine and socks her in the face, and he kills her.
Wow.
So
yeah, I remember I remember at the time, I was like, again, I was 16. I was like, did she just die? Like, what happened here exactly? Like, I'm like, he wouldn't have killed her, so she can't be dead. So what's going on? You know, I was like asking myself questions to explain what I just saw, because, you know, they don't normally do that, right? It was
on Spider-Man, like, you know, he doesn't kill anyone. You know, Batman doesn't kill anyone either, and when he does, it's non-canon, and he turns into the Batman who laughs or something.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So is this page part of the? Because I thought you had, God, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I had seen you post 2 pages pretty quickly in succession. You did, right? And it was this one and another one that you just talked about? Right, yeah. Okay. And so you're saying, even though you
4 of them now.
So these are, so it's another 2 that you, so you already have the 2.
Yep. And I'm buying 2 more that would, I bought them, I won them.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
You know, when they come in from Heritage, and it was on a Wednesday. It was nice. It was a Wednesday auction. I was actually going to go really, really big on the page where they're actually throwing the punch. I didn't think I'd win them both. That page underperformed for my expectations significantly. So I was like, all right, man, let's just go for both.
Yeah.
And ended up winning. With the help of some friends who helped clear the deck. Thank you, guys, but worked out.
Oh, that's nice. You initially were gonna satisfy yourself with just buying the one. If it had cost you what you thought it would you have stopped and you just take the one and be happy and that's it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm pretty transparent. I had like a 15K bankroll for it, and then it went at 7,800.
Oh wow!
So,
you mean you were willing to spend the full bankroll on it?
Yeah, it would have been an overbuy, but it's one of those like, I'm gonna buy that page. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as you want.
You can bid against me and I'll laugh at you to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But thankfully it didn't go that high, and Jason nailed the price because he gotta has his ego stroked as much as possible.
Well, look, a broken clock is right twice a day. Remember that.
Yeah. No. He's solid. He's solid. He did a good job.
Satisfy yourself, climax. I'm surprised the adult bots haven't stopped by yet. You know, it's funny, Alberto, but I haven't seen those sex chat people come by my show for like months now. So good. I don't know. They've learned.
All right, let's change that. What do we got to talk about?
Man, Alberto already signed up for that. They already got their patron. They're good. They're good.
All right, let's take a look at the next page, everyone. And for that, you know what? That's 3 apiece, actually. Okay, so before I do that, just let me quickly say hello to Nicky B. He's not even here yet, but maybe he's not going to. Oh, yeah, right, because he's in San Diego. Forgot about that. So we won't see him tonight, but just very quickly, let me post this up to remind everybody, if you're not familiar with Nick's show, it's a sales / chat show every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, and there's always sort of lower end art for sale, and actually more and more lately higher end art for sale. So if you want a weekly type sales show, if you like sales shows more than any other type of show related to comic art and the hobby, I would say check Nick's show out called The Original Art Experience. And might as well. Since this time I found the video this week for this Friday show. Here, for anybody not familiar, you can bookmark it there with the link I just put in the chat. So that's that. Thank you very much, everybody, for allowing me to do that. And all right, so now we can go on to the next piece, and we go back to Rob's collection. And this next piece is even for me, probably late in my collecting before I quit. Really, really super memorable and nostalgic, of course. And it's got the whole Wolverine Sabretooth thing. And so let me put that up here. It's the cover to 41 by Silvestri and Green, man. So congrats, first of all, on owning this, Rob.
Now that's a badass cover.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's a cover I bought so many years ago. I bought it.
How long have you had it?
I bought it from Anthony. He had it on his site sitting forever for $12K back in 2010 or 2011.
Wow.
And I said to myself, listen, Wolverine, Silvestri Wolverine covers don't come up anywhere. And I had no idea how to price it. So I always tell people whenever someone asks me for a friggin' price or if they think something is worth more or less, I say very simply, buy what you like and you never lose. And I loved the cover and I didn't care. So I just sent the money and bought it. And the rest is history. That's a great cover. Back then it was a key story because obviously it wasn't true, but Sabretooth tells Wolverine that he's his father, and it was it sold out. It had a second printing, and also Wolverine 42 had a second printing. It's just an awesome cover. It's beautiful. It's one of those covers that I hope I can keep forever.
Well, I hope so for your sake too, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, the next Wolverine cover comes up in Heritage, it goes for $100,000. I mean, I'm selling this damn thing.
Oh yeah, listen. I say this all the time. Look, everybody has to speak for themselves. I speak for myself, and I've always said nothing's untouchable. If it's in my collection, I'm not looking to sell it. I'm not looking to sell it. But if what you said, right, Rob, like if it's something that's worth like, I don't know, lowish 5 figures, for instance, and you suddenly see this thing going for 6 figures, and or something else go for 6 figures, and you think, hey, that's comparable to what I got. Speaking for myself, I'll be looking and reaching into the collection to unload, those types of pieces that I think I can get 6 figures for. Like, sure, because in the end, my well-being, my family's well-being, their future, to me, that's more important than any piece of art, So that's just me.
What's the last big piece you bought, Ruben? Which you consider, sizable?
Probably. What did I buy there? I guess the last biggish piece, if you will. This depends how everybody defines big differently, but would have been probably the Superman 500, page 58, I think it is. It's the first appearance of the new Superboy, the one that the one that appeared throughout the 90s, the leather jacket and the
I actually know that one. I didn't do too much DC, but yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
When did you pick that one up?
When or for how much?
When?
Oh gosh, not that long ago. I want to say just, I don't know, pre-COVID, but very close, maybe 19 or something like that.
Oh, you're due, man. You're due.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know. I like you said it before, though, James. You said it before, and I will echo what you said. I can afford to spend 5 figures, but I hate spending 5 figures. And to be honest, let me take it one step further. And let me be more specific here, because I've had these conversations privately with a lot of friends, right? And this goes back about 20 years now. About 20 years ago, I started hating when the prices were going up, and I was into getting Marvel 70s covers, and when they hit the 3,000 to 3,500 range, I was like, okay, that's it's enough already. I don't want to keep spending that kind of money, right? 20 years go by, and I can still tell you, I can't really explain it. I don't know why, but 20 years on, today, I can still tell you, James, that 3,500-ish level is still It's
visceral. It's visceral, right?
Yeah, it's like I feel like I'm comfortable to pay 3 or 3.5K, but once I have to pay like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm like, I don't want to do this, man. It's weird.
I'll tell you this, and it's kind of a concept. I've talked to some of the collectors. We talk about art all the time. We talk about auction results. We talk about dealers, and we always say, 5K, 10K, 6K, 8K, and it almost feels like poker chips. The way we're doing it, we're having a discussion. So, kind of a mnemonic device that I do when I'm going to buy something is I actually say the price in full out loud. Like, it's going to be $7,000 or something. And just to, kind of give myself a gut check on, this is real. This is real money.
Right.
This is not, granted, investments going up, and most of us collectors haven't made stupid decisions just because of the market. but it's still real money.
It's real money. However, having said that, just to play devil's advocate, because this is something else I've always said, the nice thing about this stuff is that, let's face it, we know, because we have historical precedent on which to base our decisions on, we know that, yes, even though we spend high 4 figures, low mid 5 figures, whatever it is, when we do it,
a good chunk of it, right? Yeah. That's what I used to fall asleep at night.
We're not happy, whatever. But it's nice to know that even if we decide to do it and we don't like it, the nice thing is that we know we're not likely to lose on it, right? Mm-hmm. We're eventually going to get our money. So in other words, we're not wasting our money. We're just tying it up indefinitely, which is a nice, it's a big difference between, oh, you wasted your money on some cartoons, that some wives probably tell their husbands, like it's true.
I want to interject because if you guys don't mind, I'm reading some of the comments. Now, this may be offensive to some people. I see a few of the guys saying, oh, I wouldn't sell this art. I don't care what you give me.
Yeah.
My opinion, if they don't have the piece that can give them the huge numbers. I truly believe, and I've been buying and selling art since 1992. I've sold some shit you wouldn't believe. I had the cover to the glow-in-the-dark Ghost Rider 15, Mark Teixeira. I sold that. I've sold a lot of stuff. And I truly believe the right piece, you get a crazy number for it, you are going to sell it. I don't care what you say. I will argue till I'm dead. So to Jason and to all those guys saying they're not going to, I don't believe there's a piece that they have that's in that 6-figure range yet. Once you start talking big-ass numbers like that, it's so hard to say, no, that's a goddamn piece of property. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this. Of course, walk a mile in your shoes until everyone has a different scenario. But, the one thing I agree with you, Rob, it's a lot of money. Granted, it's not liquid, but the assets are there. But, think about how much I've spent on art and the value of the art. Eventually, I'm going to have to sell it because if I don't, I might keep a piece or two, but if I don't sell it from a retirement perspective or anything, I pulled that income out of my family. What could we have done with that income? We could have, vacation, or we could have, thrown one hell of a coke and hooker party, right? But, but I pulled that out. So it has to eventually make sense. It has to eventually come back into the family. So, that's why I always thought, I'll keep the most sentimental ones, but at the end of the day, hopefully, decades from now, that's the plan.
That's what you basically echoed what I just said. The family is more important.
Absolutely. And for example, behind me, I have Wolverine 90. I bought the whole book. You can guess how much I paid. It was not cheap. I bought the whole entire book.
$8,900.
Oh, a lot more than that. And I'm going to tell you, I hope Adam Kubert's not watching. If I got an offer, and this is the favorite book I've ever loved since I was a kid. When I bought it, I was in sheer joy. My wife would tell me, God damn, Rob, you keep going to just look at that art. I go, because I love it. But if I got a crazy offer for it right now, goodbye. It's gone. 100%.
I did joke, though, with my Chew 1 cover with Rob Gilroy that at the end of the day, if I have to decorate my cardboard box with that piece, I will. Because if I'm
Jason, no way. I'm telling you now. Sorry, Jason, no way. And we'll talk face to face at OEX about that. Bull crap. You get the right offer, you're selling it. I don't believe you for a second.
So Black Viper of Dorn says, that's fair. My experience is a piece I paid $400 for and have been offered $20K. It's an artist comic guys hardly know, a guy that stopped doing art. So what are you saying, though, Black Viper? Are you saying that it only cost you $400? Somebody offered you $20K, you said no, and are you trying to make the point that that's your proof that you would never sell it? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I think that's what you're trying to say. But that's I don't know. But look, everybody's different. I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule. I'm sure some guys have one or two pieces that they would never sell, and they'll die with it. I'm sure, right?
Bullshit.
Well, they pass it on as heirlooms, Rob. You might pass it along as heirlooms to your family.
Yeah.
So okay. there's always scenarios.
Fair enough. That would be different. But in my opinion, I intend to sell all my art before I die, so my kids have actual cash and they don't have to fight for a freaking piece of art. My kids aren't fighting for my Simon Bisley covers. I have it in my will. When my ass is dead, everything gets sold. If I haven't sold it yet. But yeah, you are right. If you want to hold something, maybe Jason's got a good point. If you want to hold it for your kids, I get it. But I don't know. I just, in my mind, I've been in my own business forever. And I'm a big believer. Someone said earlier, cash ain't worth nothing. And you're right, but it pays the bills. And I just believe, that if you got that piece that's big money and you get offered big money for it, it's hard to say no. You got family, you got bills. It's hard to say no. And it's an opinion, but I think if you sit down, I'm sure, Ruben, you got pieces you don't want to sell. But tell me the piece you'll never sell, and I'll find a guy that's going to give you a crazy ass offer, and you're going to sell it.
No, listen. You're talking to the wrong guy, Rob. I've already said it live on air many times. I own my comic art Holy Grail, okay? But my daughter is my life's Holy Grail. So
absolutely,
I don't give a shit what that piece of art is. Like, yes, I love it more than anything else in comic art, right? What it means to me personally. Excuse me, but you're absolutely right. Like, of course, I would sell it if the right price, whatever that is. I don't spend any time thinking about that, though, right? But of course, I would. Nothing's untouchable. Nothing. For me, I'm not saying that it's the same for everybody. I'm not going to make those, comments and speak for other people. I'm just saying, for me, that's how I feel. My family is what I care about. That's it.
100%.
So that's it. Okay, yeah, let us get on with the art, everyone. Last couple of comments. I have no issues with my wife selling my collection once I'm gone. Yeah, there you go. Well, you're gone.
There you go, dude.
You leave instructions, right?
I'm just trying to get into Rob's will.
Brother, 3 daughters, love them to death. They're and my wife. That's it. And maybe my dogs.
Tariq said it best. There you go. Children and family greater than original art. Thank you.
I'm gonna make no comment.
Tariq knows his stuff. I bought something nice from Tariq that I'm sure he didn't want to sell. He knows what he's talking about. That guy don't mess around.
All right, James, we're going to head back to you for a nice little banger of a page here. And with that, we go to the Toddster.
Oh, yeah.
Todd McFarlane from Spidey 12, page 12. Look at that. Wow.
And this one has a nice story to it. This one has an interesting one.
I like stories.
So I know I'm fortunate. A lot of the pieces that I've acquired had an element of luck to it. So early in my career, I bought a whole bunch of Clayton Crane paintings, right? Tons of Clayton Crane work. This is when I was first starting. And I had a gentleman come and traded me I had this Venomverse. Tom Fish has it now. It was connecting covers painted, gorgeous. And this guy traded me a couple McFarlane pages, a couple of Michael Golden pages, really, really nice stuff, and a Bianchi for it. And I traded, and eventually, sold all the art, and I sold both of my McFarlanes. This was, again, earlier in my art career. And I always regretted it. And so an interesting situation with this page, it was on the Nate D. Sanders auction house. Right?
Oh, no. I should say, yes, for you, right?
Yeah, WTF, the Nate D. Sanders. So, my friend Dan showed it to me, and I was tracking. I was like, I don't know anything about Nate D. Sanders. So the day of the auction, it has 0 bids. I'm like, we're going to give this a shot. So I register for the Nate D. Sanders, and it's funny because they make you give references, and they call you and check and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, this is strange, but all right, whatever. And so we bid, like last second, everyone, it has a countdown to when the auction ends, kind of like Comic Link. So I bid, and I'm the highest. And I'm like, sweet, I won. And I got it for a freaking steal.
Yeah? Oh, my God.
And then I get this email from Nate D. Sanders says, hey, how our auctions work is at the end of the auction, we give everyone that's bid 30 minutes to up their bid.
What?
I'm like, oh,
holy shit.
I'm like,
are you serious?
Yes. And I'm like,
come on.
Anyway, because I it was a steal, but it was still a lot of money. So I shoot a note in this Facebook chat room. I was like, are you kidding? This auction house gives an extra 30 minutes for bidders? What's going on? And then the lady hits me up and goes, yeah, one of the guys dropped out. So it's just you and one other guy. I'm like, okay. I got all these calculations on my mind. What am I going to go up to? And then one of my buddies, who's actually been on your show, but I'm not going to name any names, says, hey, I'm the other bidder. I'm like, Oh, really?
But wait, how did he know that you were the other bidder?
Because I was in the Facebook chat. He was in the same chat group as me.
Nice.
And I'm like,
oh shit.
Really? He goes, yeah. I mean, what are you thinking? You know, we had that conversation back and forth. I was like, I'll tell you what, man. Because, you know, super great guy, has a lot more resources than I do, just straight up. And I was like, I got a ghostwriter page by Garney at the time, nice double page splash. And I was like, I'll just give you that double page splash if you let me do my thing. He's like, sold. And so I did get it at, you know, the minimum auction bid, and was able to get a McFarlane page because of it, you know, way under budget. So
yeah, well, that's an awesome.
I see a lot of comments about Wendigo, and it's amazing how awesome that dude is, and he has so much love, and they don't do shit with him. I love Wendigo. Can you open me up? I want to show a piece I have with Wendigo.
Oh yeah, sure. And by the way, Rob, just so I know, because I noticed, if I get the feeling you're not noticing that I pop comments up onto the screen. Are you noticing that or not? Because it looks like
of course. I just can't comment on them, so I try and shout something out.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Absolutely, I see. Let me show you. I got a real cool piece. No, that's all right. This is an awesome piece. Give me a second. And it's a 20 by 30 by check this out. This is freaking beautiful.
Wow.
So there's before I knew Rob, right? That's Adam Kubert, 20 by 30, absolutely gorgeous, double plate splash from I think Wolverine, black, white, and red. And Essential Sequential posted it, and I'm back and forth. You know, it's for sale. I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. I'm going to buy it, and it's for sale. And, well, I don't know. I'll go to the story. It was already sold, but it was for sale.
I tell him
it would have been a challenging situation if I would have, you know, I almost hit buy it, but it was already sold.
Wow.
Yeah, freaking James. James loves to tell me this freaking story. And I tell him, dude, that piece was sold already because I had it. I even called him and I said, why is it for sale? No, bullshit. I call bullshit. But yeah, he had it on. He had it on for sale, and I was like, I didn't understand why, because I had told him I wanted it, and James said he was about to buy it. So we would have had a predicament. Our friend Jason Schachter would have been in a bit of a situation.
Well, Rob, people love that piece, obviously. So
yeah, it's an awesome piece. I love it.
Will there be a Nina appearance tonight? That's gone over my head. Anybody know a Nina? Any Ninas out there?
Who's that? Is that Mark?
Did he mean ninja?
Marcus, what a dirty dog.
You know what?
No. He's referring to something else. He's a little Weisenheimer.
Well, I know he's a Weisenheimer, but what's he? So can you say what he's referring to? Or
sure. I have a bunch of Boris paintings. So you know, I did one of the shows, and I joked. My next piece I bought because you know my favorite actor. It looked like it looked like it was drawn to emulate my favorite actor, and I had a Polaroid of Nina Hartley, you know, sitting on me, and then I showed the Boris painting, and it looked like Nina Hartley, and that Marcus hasn't dropped that since that friggin' day.
Okay, there you go. Gotcha. Thank you for sharing.
You want me to get the pic? I can get it for you, dude.
No.
It's all right. As it says, naked Nina.
Yes, she was, my friend. Yes, she was. I'll bring it to OAX.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody, let us move on to the next piece. And for that one, we go back to Rob's collection. Clearly another banger. You probably already would expect that. And that is this sweet vintage X-Men number 20 cover from 1993 by Andy Kubert and Mark Pennington.
Yeah, that's a badass piece. It's I think it's one of his best X-Men covers. You know, Adam Perlman has the number 18 cover, so we always debate which one we think is better. Andy and Adam are very similar. They don't sell their art. So obviously I got this through second and third hand. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know Raymond Bryan. He had it for many, many years. And like the person who owned it before me, we all reached out to him if he wanted to sell it. And the time he sold it, unfortunately, I wasn't involved. So I had to pay a premium plus to get it from the guy who owned it. And I love it. It's a piece, you know, it's a piece that I would never sell, but of course the right offer would sell it. But I paid way too much for it that I don't think I'd get an offer close to what I paid. But it's just a great cover, Andy Kubert. They're all stacking up, and Wolverine's right there.
Nice triangle composition. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. For me, anything pre-25 for Andy Kubert, X-Men 25 is the shit to buy, because post that, I don't know what it is. His style changed. Maybe he was too busy, and there was a lot of loose drawing. I don't like any of the 30s and 40s pages, because for me they don't compare to the pre-25. That's only my opinion, but I think that his best stuff is issue 25, 26, and less.
Okay. You're just a word balloon fan. The word balloons went away around that time.
James, I imagine. Am I wrong, or is this not really the kind of era for Andy Kubert that you're maybe into, or?
Oh, me personally? No, I've got a page from 18. I've had a page from 19. Now this is fan freaking tastic.
Oh, okay. So this is if it was affordable enough and you had the budget, you would have gone for this if it was something that came up, made itself available.
Yeah, I've offered Rob, $8,900 for this. And
$8,900. Okay. You seem to like the 84 to 8,900 Mark era. Yeah, you love that.
No, it's gorgeous. I mean, my entire nostalgia era, was the early 90s, especially around. Honestly, I mean, I read comics on and off. I read that Spider-Man versus Wolverine. But it's when I started watching the X-Men cartoon.
Right.
Every Saturday. That was my trigger. That's why I'm such a big X-Men fan and 90s fan. Jim Lee, Andy, and all those guys. It was the cartoon.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it was for a lot of guys in your age group. Are you in between 43 and 45? Is that where you're in?
43.
You're 43. Yeah, guys in your age group, that's what I hear a lot, that it was the cartoon that did it for them, So it's,
I agree with Jason. He definitely moved away from it after 25. D'Ambrosio's got a good point there.
Omar candidate for those of lesser means. Yeah, I don't know about lesser means, but so Tariq has a question for you guys. How would you describe the difference between Andy and Adam's take on the character of Wolverine, of course?
Go, James. You go first.
I mean, without getting too long-winded, because we are sort of, getting to the 22 minutes before the 2-hour mark. So,
I mean, that's a really good question, and it's not one I don't think I can throw off on the top of my head. I'm just gonna be honest on there. I mean, I kind of associate them both together. I mean, well, not Wolverine. I mean, Wolverine was in the X-Men side and everything, but Adam explored his solo stories, and I kind of associate Wolverine with Adam. I see the group dynamic with Andy, but it's something where honestly I have to think about it a little bit more to kind of give you an answer that makes sense.
I have a clear-cut opinion of it, and I'm glad I don't know Andy and he's not watching. But I think Andy was, and I love his art because look, I have that cover and I spent a shitload for it. I think Andy just was too much of a copy of Jim Lee, maybe a little looser because Jim Lee was so clean. And his Wolverine looked just like Jim Lee's. So that didn't do anything for me. Adam Kubert, for me, definitively made a great Wolverine in the 90s. I know John Byrne is awesome, and Sam Keith had some great stuff. But for me, when Adam Kubert put pen to paper and drew that Wolverine, he made it his own, and you could see it through all his issues. So I don't know. Andy's great, but for me, still, like Jason said, he was still trying to emulate that style of Jim because that's what was selling. So, for me, it's not a comparison.
And Adam, he models Wolverine's hands on his own.
Yeah, does he? That's cool. Yeah, well, there's your answer, I guess. So, excellent. All right, from there, let us go on to the next piece then. Back to you, James. And for this is one that I think a lot of us remember fondly from seeing it when you posted it in your cat. I love the character that Wolverine's with, so this is really a lot of fun for me.
Oh, you prick! That's awesome. That should be my piece.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I get that a lot.
But I mean it.
Yeah, from I've been it's probably the piece in my gallery that has the most views. I will tell you, I've got a Gen 13 page. That's one of the rare nudity ones that I think eventually is going to have the most views because it's just flying through the calf rankings. But so the story on this one, I was talking to Khalil Garon, K Garon on calf. And we were just having our little hypothetical conversations on if we could have a Grail page, something that we truly remember from our childhood and had the poster in the room and all that. What would you like? And I'm like, dude, there was this Wolverine book where he jumps on this bar and basically sticks his claws in Juggernaut's face, and basically it's a throwdown. They stare each other down. I would love that page. And Khalil was like, well, Jason Schachter threw out an email list and that page is on there. I'm like, bullshit, dude. So sure enough, man, I guess Adam was buying a house or something. Don't quote me on that one. Putting up some art for sale for some major down payment. And I hit up Jason immediately. He goes, "Yep, that's it." And he gave me the price. And I'm like, "Well, would you consider this?" And it was without a doubt my first 5-figure piece and the most I've ever spent on anything at the time. He goes, "Would you consider this? And would you do this?" And he goes, "Nope." Adam says, "You know what? He'll give you 2 months." I'm like, all right, but it won't come down on the price. I'm like, okay. So I was like, let's do it, and my heart was racing and, just in typical fashion. And a lot of my buddies will know this. I'll do a 4-month time payment or 6-month time payment. And I paid it off in 2 weeks because I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
So, I got the piece and, it's hanging on my wall. And what's funny is when I talked to Adam about it the first time, it was in Louisiana. And he goes, I didn't know I sold it. I'm like, well, I sure as hell have it. So, yeah. Because I know a lot of people are going to be really pissed that I sold this. I sold it? I'm like, yeah, you did, man. Yeah, you did. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's an awesome piece. And I can't wait for the day that James needs money to buy a big, huge Grail. So he calls me and I can buy this. Because that, for me, is awesome. And that's my point about how he did Wolverine. Look at that. That's no friggin' joke. That is beautiful. It's beautiful how he has them. That's, for me, one of his most memorable pieces. It's awesome. It's a killer job, and kudos to you, James, because that's awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, what's up, Hoarder's Hide? You're late tonight.
Karen asked Holy Grail. That's my Holy Grail piece.
I was going to save that for later. Yeah, I wanted to sort of get through a little bit more art and then maybe save that kind of as a question at the end, just to make sure we get the art in,
Yeah.
We have more art? I thought that was it. You have more stuff for us? I sent you. Okay. I don't know what else.
Soon. So there you go, Karen. Don't worry. I skipped you on purpose, as always. Well, not always, but I did skip you on purpose again this time because I'm saving it for later. Yeah, let's. I want to make sure we just get to the art. There's not much left though, but let me see.
James can go over 2 hours. He'll be okay. James will go over 2 hours.
We got 3 more pieces anyway. So all right, Rob, back to you, my friend, and we are going to do a little strobe action in the club. Let us take a look at this quadruple page splash here.
Oh shit, that's awesome! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. Oh, baby.
That's awesome.
Oh, baby. Dance, monkeys, dance.
I forgot I sent you that. That's a beautiful piece. I have it behind me.
Yeah, man.
That's the book, man. For many years I asked about it. And they once in a while they would put them out for prices, very, very high pricing. Nobody ever bought it. And then when I had the opportunity, I bought that, and that's the first piece I framed. It's freaking 4 pages across. It is huge. Well, it's behind me. It's huge and gorgeous. The detail. So he had 2 inkers on this book. He had Dan Green and Mark. What the hell's his name?
Mark Pennington.
Not Mark Pennington. No. There was two inkers on it. Mark Farmer.
Oh, Mark Farmer. Yeah.
Yes, and he had to. It's a good story. He had to buy all his pages back from the two artists. So this is Dan Green inking, and look at the detail on that freaking Sabretooth, man. That's just gorgeous. I love it. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I'm curious because I don't I had stopped collecting a couple of years before this came out. So am I to understand then that this? So you open to the double spread, and each side of the spread inside the comic folds outward. So the left side and the right side each have a attached page that you fold outward. Is that how this?
So this book was double, triple, and quadruple.
There are no single pages. There are no single pages.
No. So the triples and the quadruples would open out to like a pull-out poster. So the double gatefold of this one, it's the 2 pages. Then you open it, and it's 2 more. If you want to have the comic, I can go grab it. If you want to give me a second.
Sure, it's up to you. If it doesn't take,
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah.
What I was mentioning before, like Adam, always experiments, right? Tries new things. This is one of his, earlier examples, and there's no single pages in the book. Like I personally don't know of another book that was ever drawn like that. Comments can correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, James. You froze, James. Sorry. So I think if I missed it, I'm assuming other people missed it. I didn't hear you say that last sentence.
I was going to say, from my knowledge, I don't know of another book that goes through that format like that, where there's no single pages and then there's double, triple, and quadruple.
So
that's literally a quadruple page splash.
Literally. Here's the quadruple page. So you're gonna laugh your ass off. So you open up your comic, boom, and then here's your quadruple page splash. Bam and bam.
Oh, that was that. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Each side folds outward, so you have 4 pieces.
You have artwork on the other page, but it opens up to 4 pages.
Right. That's what I was trying to explain. Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I thought. Okay. Wow.
It's awesome.
And so does that happen? Does that happen every time you then turn the? No, it can't happen every time you turn the.
No. Only on the triple and quadruples. Like the triple. Yeah. Like this is another quadruple. This is a freaking quadruple where he's smashing his face. This thing is awesome.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the quadruple that opens up. And then a triple opens up, and then here's the double page splash in the back. It opens up to.
Oh yeah.
Hey, do a dramatic reading, Rob. No, I kid.
We got time for that. If we had no time limit, I'd be all for it, but no.
Yeah. No, he's gonna hang in there. James is loving it. He'll stay a little bit later.
We're good, man. We're good.
But
I haven't got the text from the wife, so we're good.
We're going for half hour, brother.
That's what you're waiting for, James. It's the text that you're waiting for.
Here's to you.
Okay, cool. So, with that, then let us go. Now. Oh shit! You know what? I missed. Yeah, I miscounted. So that was the last one for you, Rob. So we're at the end of the show and tell for you, and we're gonna look at James's last page now. Which is going to wait, everybody, after we show James' page, because I still have something else to show. Yeah, sorry, James.
And I'm glad you're ending on this one because it actually ties into Rob. If I'm not mistaken,
cool.
Which one you got?
Okay, sounds good. So let us take a look at this killer piece by the Jimster and Scott Williams, 1991 classic from the 5th issue of the series with that obvious killer money shot. Fantastic, man. Talk a little bit about this for sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Lee, X-Men, and Jim Lee Wolverine. I had no idea I was going to be able to pick up a page like this. Because when I was looking to, I don't know, man, it just passed me by. Like when I was ready to pay the money, the market grew exponentially. So. Didn't think it would ever happen. So, talking to Rob, Rob was in the midst of a potential trade it was a big trade. And this page was in there, and just kind of give you an idea, the trade was so big that this was a consolation prize in the trade.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was the trade didn't go through. So I'm like, hey, Rob, do you care if I reach out to the guy? And he gave me the information, gave me the name, and I reached out to him. And the guy that I traded with really wanted an Adam Kubert cover, and I had the cover to Wolverine 82 at the time.
Okay.
And so he wanted that and a couple other things. And that Wolverine 82 cover is fantastic. I loved it. But I'm like, I've got a couple Adam Kubert pieces, that Wolvie Juggernaut. This is my opportunity to get a Jim Lee X-Men Wolverine. What the hell?
Yeah.
So we initiated the trade, and the gentleman I traded with, he travels a lot, and Rob actually went and picked up the piece. There's a lot of little, drama behind the scenes and everything,
Right.
but he drove 3 hours to go pick it up for me and mail it to me.
Wow.
So yeah, dude,
3 hours each way?
Hour and a half each way, right?
Okay, still that's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, but plus deal with the drama and back and forth, and there was a shipping issue where the wrong address was put on there, and so he actually went to the post office almost every day to help me out. So, I mean, it meant a lot. I mean, the page means a lot. The page is fantastic. The fact that Rob did what he did and went over above and beyond meant a lot personally. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good page to have.
Yeah. That's for me anyways.
Great freaking page. And I just met, James and I were only we're just becoming friends. And I didn't play I don't know if I played an integral part in the trade. I hooked them up with the dude and they did it on their own. But I felt partly responsible being that person because I've been in the flooring business for many, many years and I don't give a lot of referrals because it means me. And if it makes me look like an asshole, I don't want to be part of it. So when James having an issue with the person that sold it to him, and there was a third person involved, I said, "This is bullshit. I got to get this done right." So I didn't care. I just told the person, "Listen, don't move your ass. Stay where you are. I'm going to get that piece because I need to get it to James." And I said it just like that. I wasn't happy on how it was going. It could have gone much smoother, and it was bullshit what happened. So I said, I got to take care of it.
The tour was it 3 or 4 days that it was lost in the post system. That was a puckering moment, but
for you, I'm the one that helped everybody in it. I felt like shit.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. It's on the wall. Well,
exactly.
A copy of it's now on the wall.
Well,
great piece.
I say all the time, fantastic piece, and I say all the time, for the last 8 years or so, 7-8 years, for me, I've kind of like again, people don't believe me, but I'm nearing my end of the collecting days. Anyways, I don't want to repeat that story, but and so it's more about like sort of just being hanging out with people. For me, I'm just talking about myself. The people are important, just in life in general, not just the hobby, So relationships are always important to me. And so when you are in the hobby and you can get a piece and it comes with that type of story attached to it, right? With call it a human interest story, if you will, whatever you want to call it. That piece would be, for that reason alone, one of my last to go pieces, even though I'd still sell it for the right price eventually, but one of the last most meaningful pieces to me because of what Rob did, right? Like, well,
I'll tell you, if you look back at what I showed, right? I've got one where, conversation with Khalil led to it. I've got one where, a chat group, networking led to another. I got one, with Rob. So, for me personally, the reason why I enjoy this hobby so much, first of all, majority of my growth in the hobby came during COVID. This was my social network during COVID. Right. And then the people that I've met, I can literally go almost around the world and meet collectors that I can truly, call up like a friend. Refrigerator friends. I feel like the refrigerator friends. I could walk up and grab a beer out of the refrigerator. So it's been good that way.
That's great. That's great. And in many ways, that's that has more value than the art itself. Not to be
exact. I mean that's I agree. And I'm sure James would do the same thing for me. It's not even a thought. Now, Jason, on the other hand, I don't know about that dude.
Yeah,
I would mail you back.
D'Ambrosio, I'm watching you, D'Ambrosio.
All right, guys. So that is the end of the show and tell, but got 4-ish minutes before it's an even 2 hours.
Listen,
James, just in case that text comes. I mean, I don't want to. I'd like to do this because
I went do not disturb. We're good.
James is having too much fun. We're going 3 hours, brother. We're going 3 hours.
Well, hey, listen, we'll go whatever you want to go. We'll go, but I do want to at least try to. So I want to squeeze in this little thing because you may have forgotten, James. You had asked me a question that you wanted to ask me again live, and I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about. Do you?
I know what you did for a living was one of them. What was the other one?
Oh, so you had
Where he's
asked
from?
me, but no, he knows where I'm
Where
from. I'm in Montreal, Rob, in case you don't know. But
Oh shit! I thought you were like in Jersey or something.
nah, I'm not in Jersey. Nah, I'm Canadian. Yeah, you had brought up the fact about I left you a comment on a piece.
Oh,
Remember?
What was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. It's
Okay.
okay. I'll remind you.
Okay.
So everyone, I left James a comment, and it's sort of an off the cuff thing, whatever. And I happened to sort of give him a little bit of a knowledge, just drop a little knowledge drop about something that I knew. And he never, surprisingly, he usually will contact me. James will sometimes contact me after I leave a comment, like if he thinks it's funny, and then he just contacts me to tell me he was laughing his ass off or whatever, right? And I was surprised that he didn't do that this time. And then, like, when we talked about, okay, we got to do this show and tell, he's like, oh, by the way, you left me this comment like weeks back, and you said this thing, like don't answer it now, but we'll talk about it on the show. Yep. And so the comment was, I had mentioned that, I don't even remember the exact comment, but I brought up the fact that there was, I think, one or two of the only known forgeries of published art, not sketches, because there's tons of sketches, but published art in the hobby. And so he, he wanted to know what that was and see if I had any kind of information about that. So is that ringing more bells now, James? Or?
Was it the Sienkiewicz?
Sienkiewicz, exactly.
Yeah.
The X-Men 159 splash number, page 1.
Which I got from Jason D'Ambrosia, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's a forgery. Well, yeah, but yours is not the splash, so it's not a forgery. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, everybody. For those who don't know, back in the day, the late '90s, I believe it was the late '90s, maybe early 2000s, on eBay, the splash page, the X-Men 159 first page splash, title, credit splash came up, and as usual, as was the custom back in the day on eBay, it was with a really crappy photograph taken at an angle like this, not flat or not flat like this. So you saw it like this. And, at first glance, in the first split second, I'm like, oh, 159 splash by Sienkiewicz, yeah. But then I was like, wait a second. Something looks off about it, Something looked off about it. And the more I looked at it, I was like, man, I just don't feel comfortable. I couldn't tell for sure because of the bad quality of the photograph. So it could still have been okay, but my gut was like, nah, something's wrong here. And so I didn't touch it. I let it go. Somebody else won it. Okay, then it disappears. I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years later, it reappears. I'm in New York, and it's at Anthony's table and at his booth. And I'm like, oh shit, there's the 159. Oh my God, that's the fake one from eBay. I'm like, so okay, let me see this.
Oh, poor Anthony.
So it comes down. Well, no, somebody was helping at the booth, and he was busy with somebody else, so he didn't even know about this at the time, right? So I'm just talking with whoever had helped me bring it down, and then I was talking to my friends who I was with at the con, right, that were standing next to me. And as soon as I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, it is fake. Oh my God, this is crazy. Wow. So knowing, James, that you were interested in this, I prepared this so everybody can since nobody's even commenting about what we're saying, that's perfect. I don't have to fall behind in the comments. Let me show you guys this. Let's take a look at this first. All right. So, okay. So, unfortunately, one of these is real, one is fake, one is a forgery. It's Bill Sienkiewicz and Bob Wiacek from 1982, and unfortunately, I'm glad that I have visual proof of both, the existence of both the original and the forgery. I wish I had a better image of the original and the forgery, but they're both really kind of tiny-ish scans. This is the best I could do anyways. Any? Well, first let's start with you guys, Rob, James. Do you guys know which is the real one, which is the fake?
I mean, I'm going to assume the one on the right, the animated ink watermark, is going to be the real one.
And you,
I'm gonna go against the grain and say the one on the left. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that this was like I said, I've been doing this a lot of years, and I didn't even know that forgeries were prevalent. So this is all new for me, and I find it incredible. I'm gonna say left because James said right.
That's a really bad way to pick it, but no, James, you are indeed correct. And of course, it's got Nelson Animated Ink's watermark on it, so that kind of helps to give it away a little bit. But yeah, the left one is indeed the fake forgery, and yes, you're right, Scott. Yeah, so but again, so the left one is the forgery, but remember, so the left one, when it first came up for sale on eBay, it wasn't a scan, it was a photograph. So it looked more like the one on the right, except even worse, like not as clear and tilted at a severe angle, you know? So it was like, you can't really tell, but I could tell enough to know something was definitely off. The crazy thing about it was, like, up until that point, nobody had ever tried to do, like, let's say, fan-made recreations of pages where they also include the cover copy at the top. You know, the now never.
So it wasn't a photocopy; it was an actual forgery.
Right.
No.
Yeah. It's an actual pen and ink forgery. Yeah, they went to the length of, look, all the cover text, right? The Stan Lee Presents, Night Screams, all that stuff, the text at the top above that, and the credits at the bottom. They went to the length of trying to copy all that stuff in to make it look like it was even, more realistic. That's when you know it's not just, oh, I want to make a recreation because I love this piece. This is about, I want to try to screw somebody and sell this for some good money, And Maki Poo-Poo, I'm sorry to say, you were wrong with the original on the left. But exactly, Karen, that's the clipping of the corners is obviously also a giveaway. But yes,
if I can interject, I have a question.
Yeah,
Nelson Animated Ink. I see that he gets involved in a lot of these things. Does he know something that a lot of us don't know? And I'm going to give you an example. I traded Dinesh that Killer Joe Quesada double cover, the poster magazine with Wolverine prevalent in the front with the giant claws. And Nelson has always said that that's a what's it called? Shadow box, or what the hell they call that when you do the inks over the copy?
Light boxing.
Light box. And everybody I spoke to said that no way in hell was it, but he insisted that it was. And I let Dinesh know, listen, dude, you're probably friends with Quesada, ask him. But does he know something that we don't know? I mean, is he that? I don't know the guy, but I know he gets involved in a lot of those little things, like he knew right away. He had a piece of the original, as opposed to
he's a long-term collector.
Yeah,
he's been in the hobby. So,
I don't know the guy, so I'm not going to answer that. I don't know anything about that. I never talked. I've never even spoken to him, I don't think. So okay,
I was just wondering because I've noticed a couple times he's been involved in some of those talks, and I wonder if he has a source or something that some of us may not know.
Maybe he's a true member of the Cabal. We always hear about him.
Yeah, I guess.
Tariq, I just want to say I've studied art most of my life since I was a teenager, so I would assume that obviously helps. But yeah, it was tricky even for me. Just like I said, garbage quality photograph, tilted. It was tough, but in person, it was immediately, definitively 100%. This is a fake. And to answer the question earlier, there's no way to know who got stuck with it in the end. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Anthony would never get stuck with that. He would sell it before he got stuck with it, I think. And honestly, Anthony doesn't have the greatest eye. I'm not trying to put the guy down or whatever. Like most of the dealers are not artistically trained. They don't have trained eyes. I don't I genuinely believe he would not have been able to see the difference. He would have believed it was. So I do believe if he sold it, he would have sold it legitimately thinking it's the original. So that's all I'll say about that.
And probably, I mean, circa when is this? Like, how long ago was it?
1982.
Yeah, so the financial investment would have been minimal. You know, we know how much. I mean, not.
It's
zero.
all relative.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, if he took a loss on one little page back then, no big deal. If that was today, it would have been, you know, a scandal.
Yeah. Most people that interject are just like to hear themselves talk. Present company excluded, except Ruben. Fuck you. Jason says, so you didn't tell him it was a fake? No. So what happened was, like I said, it's a pretty busy time. The booth was kind of busy. As I recall it happening, Anthony was to the end, one end of his booth. I was closer to the other end, examining it, talking to two guys that were with me beside, you know, and we were all kind of examining it or whatever. And I can't remember who it was, but whoever was with Anthony helping him out, he was watching us, so he got in on the conversation. So I felt, you know, like, who am I to go and walk over to, hey, Anthony, hey, you have a fake, whatever. I didn't want to do that. I figured this guy who's helping him is going to go and tell him it's a fake anyway. So, yeah, I didn't feel there was any need. I wasn't going to interrupt him because he was busy with other customers. So that's it. And also, just FYI, in the past when I've reached out to help people who I could see posted fakes in their galleries on CAF, and I've reached out immediately to be like, oh shit, dude, I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, man.
Offensive.
God, it's not real. That's not the real. They tell me off. They tell me to go fuck myself. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not joking, by the way. I'm not exaggerating. That's what they say to me many times over the years. I'm just like, Jesus, like, I'm trying to help you, dude. Why would I do that to you? Like, whatever. So it kind of gets to the point where sometimes I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't want to tell people. Like, let them find out some other way, because why? I'm the messenger and I'm getting shot all the time. Why? You know? So whatever. But inside me, I can't help it. Most of the time, I still do it because I feel like it's better that you know. I'm like, knowledge is everything in this hobby and in life in general, right? Like, you really should know. Somebody should tell you. And if I have that knowledge, I just feel guilty if I keep it to myself and let you kind of keep thinking you've got some awesome original that isn't original, you know? So whatever.
I mean, everyone, you know, hopefully it's not a major financial investment, but everyone will build their scar tissue and buy something they thought was, you know, real when it was fake, or grab a piece that ends up being blue lines when they weren't expecting it. Nothing against blue lines, but, you know, if you're expecting something different, you know, you build your collector scar tissue and you just kind of mature in the hobby.
Yeah.
I do want to ask though, you said you were at the con. What's the last con you've been to? I mean, is that something that
Terrific Con 2019? That's Connecticut. And that's even then it was only because I can drive it in about 5.5 hours. I don't like to fly much anymore, so that's why I stopped doing cons. I got burned out on flying. Just the whole flying experience. It's not like I'm scared to be on a plane. Yeah. Just the whole airport thing, going through customs, going through security, waiting 3 hours. I got to get there. 3 hours. For me, it's international, so you got to get there. Like, they expect you 3 hours before the flight time. And it's just, the whole thing's just a nightmare. I just got tired of that, you know. So I only went to Chicago was the last place I flew to. That was 2012, and then I drove to Connecticut in 2019. So I want to go back eventually, and I was gonna go to Heroes in 2 years ago, but then the whole COVID restriction thing changed for the crossing the border for us. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh God, it's gonna be another nightmare. Fuck it. And I just said forget it, and I didn't go, you know, and that's why I canceled. I had the hotel ready, but I canceled. And that's it. So yeah, I don't know. I'd like to get back to the West Coast again. I love going to San Diego, San Francisco, just because I love the city. And I'd love to go back, but if I could snap my fingers, I'd be back at every con probably, you know, and if I could teleport like Nightcrawler, right? But it's oh, that's very sweet of you, Karen. I can't put on my own con. Yeah, that's not my thing. But we can hang out at your house or my house someday and have a drink and look at art. That's about the biggest con we'll have. But yeah, Terrific Con.
No, I was going to say.
Go ahead. No, I just want to say real quick because Jason, because Jason said Terrific Con is this week. For anybody in driving distance, What a killer guest list. So you guys should check out the website to see the guest list. Terrificon has amazing, tons of guests and a lot of really, fun ones. So yeah, check it out. Sorry, go ahead, James.
No, I was going to say, one of the many, I rag on it. I'm not originally from here. It's fine. It's a fantastic place to raise a family, but
California kid, baby.
It's not
you dropped that knowledge last time.
What's that?
Yeah, you dropped that knowledge last time. You're actually the Oklahoma kid now, but you formerly the California kid.
No, I'm a military brat. We lived all over. Most of my childhood, if you can call it that, was in Alaska. So.
Oh yeah.
But everything is a flight, so we have to be selective at cons. But I've enjoyed the ones I've gone to, and Heroes will be a regular stop. The Florida OAX and Bills thing, we're looking to get that done, and then I want to do a bucket list for San Diego. I heard. You mean in terms of what? Going to that con. I've never been to the San Diego Comic Con.
Oh, bucket list for the shows you've never been to. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wow, you haven't even tried that one time.
I'm actually going to San Diego next week.
You are?
So,
yeah. Oh, when after the con's over, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go visit Mikhail. So.
Oh, nice! Wow, Mikhail, where are you? Wow, he usually pops in at some point. Wow.
Oh, he's in San Diego.
He's in San Diego, right? He's at the con. Yeah.
His brain's jello by this point.
He's partying. Yeah, for sure. Great show, great list, as good as the big ones. Yeah, exactly. Terrificon. Small, it's considered a small show, and it is. The venue is not super large, but fantastic guest list, absolutely. So anybody in the New York, tri-state area, whatever, man, it's even worth flying to. So Mickey, exactly. Terrificon is great. Anyone that is going to Terrificon, if you spot me there, come over and say hi. I'll be there all 3 days. There you go. Rich, you got to get yourself those T-shirts I have where it says "The Collector" on the back, like a sports jersey, but with Cirillo on the back. Otherwise, they won't know you if they see you from far away.
I want to say this, Ruben, and an honor for Rob being on your show and everything. What I think he needs to do is drop a piece on Calf from the vault.
What do you mean?
So find something from the vault, Rob. Drop it on Calf. You got to. Calling it out right now.
They're staying in the vault, buddy.
Oh, you mean you wanted to drop one of the secret pieces?
Yeah, I got. He loves busting my balls. I have some pieces that I don't show just because I don't want to. No,
that's cool. A lot of us do. I don't show everything I have.
Yeah, and in my in my calf, I have a lot of great freaking pieces. So it doesn't affect. I'll show if he ever comes down to Florida. I'll show him some killer shit that he's never seen.
Post one.
Maybe a few more of my Guinness. Maybe I will.
Hey, James, how's the text? Did the text come in yet?
We actually, yes.
Yeah. What is it saying?
It's basically
where the hell are you?
No, how much longer?
Okay.
Got to put the kiddo to bed. So if you don't mind wrapping it up in 5 minutes, I appreciate it.
We were going to talk about Grails. Let's close up on Grails. Karen had asked about Grails.
Exactly. I wanted to say, since we're going to close it out, do you mind another couple of minutes just so we could take Karen's previous question? Okay, so all she was asking everybody, for those who didn't maybe catch the question that Karen asked earlier, she just wanted to know from both of the gentlemen on the screen with me, do either of you have a specific holy grail? Well, for me, I say specific because I define it my way. But maybe you have more than one. If you call them grails, then you have more than one. And for me, it's one. But do you have anything like that, either of you, where like, wow, if I could just get, oh my God, that would be the best piece ever, and nothing else could ever top that?
Go first, Rob.
Okay, yeah, because I have an easy one.
Okay, cool.
My grail would be getting a McFarlane cover.
Okay, but not specific though, obviously.
No, I'd love to get Spider-Man 4 if anybody has it out there. Okay. It's one of my favorite covers ever. I love Spider-Man 4. It came up a couple times on auction and I missed out, and it came up a couple times on Berkey's site. But that would be my grail, the cover to Spider-Man 4. I love McFarlane. I got a bunch of, if you ever want to have a Spawn show, I got half a dozen Spawn Capullo McFarlane covers hanging. So I love McFarlane, and I haven't been lucky enough to get look, James has a gorgeous page, but I'm not a page guy. I got to have covers. So I want to buy one of his covers. And, the one I'd want would be Spider-Man 4. And, if anyone out there has it, I can afford it. So, I'd love to try and buy it. That would be my grail. And honestly, I think if I ever got that piece, we always say we would stop, we wouldn't stop collecting. Or we would. I think if I got that piece, I don't know if there's anything else I really want. I mean, I really don't know. I have so much shit. I'm sorry, it's not shit. It's beautiful art.
No, but you know what, Rob? Let me just say this, if you don't mind my interrupting for a moment.
Sure.
Just real quick. Look, so my Holy Grail, I have it, I own it, and I've owned it since 2001, right? I didn't stop collecting, right? So I think as collectors, it's ingrained in us, right? We just love to accumulate shit that we love. And so just because you get the piece that means the most to you, I don't think it necessarily has to mean that, oh my God, nothing else matters. So therefore I'm going to stop collecting now. You know what I mean? Like I still love a lot of other stuff.
Sure.
Right, nothing would ever top that one, but doesn't mean there's not a lot of other stuff that I would love,
Yeah, but Ruben, if I got my Grail at 43, I probably wouldn't stop. But we're now 53, you and I.
It's different, right?
I really have everything I want except that one piece. So yeah, I probably would keep buying shit. Hey, here and there. But I get that piece, I'm content. I'm more than content.
Perfectly well said, James. How about you?
Well, man, I wish I wouldn't made him go first because he stole a little bit of my thunder. But I'm going to do two because
first. Okay, because if it's truthful, it doesn't matter. If it's the same thing.
It's Amazing Spider-Man 316. Joe Lee has that one.
You ain't ever getting
the Joe's cover.
Yeah, you're not getting it.
Joe's cover? The Joe Lee cover?
Yeah, Joe Lee's got that one.
Yeah. $1 million cover. $1 million cover.
It's fantastic. And then something that I think would still be unattainable, but kind of attainable if I really, really, put the effort in. As far as I don't know where it's at, but the cover to Spider-Man versus Wolverine.
Oh, so, wow, yeah.
I know it sold on HA, years and years ago for like $34,000. I have no idea, where, James, how much.
James, I almost had it. Dude. So I want to say mid 2000s ish. I was thinking about it, right? I'm like, oh my God, I wish that thing would pop up, right? And then I'm like, wait a second. Mark doesn't usually sell his art. He probably has it. So I reached out. I found the guy, reached out. Guess what? I've got it, Ruben. I've got it right here. Yeah, baby. I got it. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. So I told the story a little differently than it happened. I reached out to him initially about other art. Okay. I was looking for, I can't even remember what that art was anymore, but I reached out about that art and I got it from him. So I was like, oh, fantastic. Right. And then after we did that deal, then it came to mind. I was like, oh my God, Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Holy shit. I got to get back in touch, right, with Mark. And I did. He says he's got it. I'm like, fantastic. Just tell me the price. Let me know, please. And all of a sudden, oh yeah, Ruben, I feel attached. I don't know. I want to sell this one. I'm like, oh God. And I don't want to push the guy, right? So I'm like, oh, I did one of those. I understand, Mark, one day if you ever decide to change your mind, please keep my contact info handy and let me know. And okay, Ruben, no problem. And next thing I know, one day I see somebody else owns it. I'm like, fuck! It's like, what are you going to do, right? He didn't keep his promise to reach out to me and whatever. I lost out. And then ultimately that person, I guess, put it on Heritage or whatever it was,
Yeah, ironically, I just emailed him out of the blue off his website on something completely different. I haven't got a response, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, those are the two. And I mean, it's not a Grail or anything. I love a Silvestri.
They're dream covers, Karen says. Those are dream covers.
I love a Silvestri X-Men, but that's, and then one pops up at Cool Lines, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, no. I mean, well beyond my financial means.
Oh, okay. Which one's in Singapore? The
Spider-Man versus Wolverine.
Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Oh, does the? Oh, okay. Well, there's a few collectors in Singapore, so okay, interesting. Ghost. I don't know what ghost means. 3 happy ghosts. No. I guess that's for me getting screwed on my Spider-Man versus Wolverine cover. Yeah, happy ghost, Marcus. Happy ghost to you too. I don't know what that means. Kind of going over my head here again. It always happens with you, Marcus. But anyways, everybody, thank you, guys. James, do you? I know you do, Rob. James, do you even have another 2 minutes, just to talk to me for a second backstage? Yeah. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much. I had so much fun. I knew it would be fun. Thank you, obviously, guys. Rob, James. I really wanted and hoped that this could have been like one of those 3+ hour shows of mine, because I knew we could talk for more if you guys had the time. But I really appreciate it, especially you, James. Really appreciate it. Whatever time you could have given me, I would have been really happy. It's been great knowing you for the last few years that we've known each other. It's been really nice. And even though you misunderstand some of my emails and think I'm an asshole, I don't think it.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one, jerk off.
You either, Rob. I'm sure people in the chat that know me better than you guys can vouch for me, and they'll say that I'm very nice. But anyways, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me just say bye to everybody. I'll put you backstage, and I'll be right with you in a minute, okay?
Here's my puppy, my Great Dane. And I'm
Is that Blue? Hey, Blue.
There he is. Good boy.
All right, guys. I'll see you in a minute. All right, everybody. Thank you again so much for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, as much as we did. Really good time. Like I said, I do really wish it could have gone on a little bit longer. Anyways, could have talked much longer with these guys about this stuff. But listen, I don't take it for granted, and I appreciate their time, no matter how long everybody can stick around. And that goes the same for all of you guys in the chat, as always. I don't take it for granted, like I said, especially all you guys who come in regularly every single week. And Marcus, and especially to you, doing this from San Diego just as the show is closing out, like last year. Appreciate you, bro. Really awesome. Thank you, Mickey. Appreciate you, even though you're kind of quiet most of the time, but I love to see you here. Really appreciate you all the time, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, Black Viper of Dorn. Appreciate it. Tariq, thanks. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Wolverine theme, exactly. Really cool. Excellent. Thank you, Rick. You are one of the top guys. Thank you, Rick. Really appreciate it. Good night, Karen. See you soon again. Yes, absolutely fabulous collections. Good night to you, Maki Poo. Rich, same thing. Thank you very much, as always. And who else do we got? Good night. Okay, to Karen from the wife and the Hyder. Good night to you. And thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate it. Kazra, what's up? Thank you very much again for dropping in, and more frequently. So thank you very much. Thank you again, Jason, as always. Go blue, Jason. Don't forget to go blue. And that's it. So I will leave you guys with a little quick preview, and I'll close out with the image for next week's show. Please remember, if you're not aware, if you haven't gotten the notification, that next week's show is this. It is the Comic Art Show and Sell, not Tell, but Sell number 9. It is helping out my buddy Kavi, and all our buddy Kavi, to do a little art sales. Trying to have some fun with that. So why not? Please be back here at the usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And yeah, hopefully there's going to be something for everybody to pick up. And if not, well, at least it's like a fun show and tell. So come back here as always. Check it out. We'll have a good time. It's like a full circle because, as some of you remember, Kavi helped produce my first piece of content on YouTube. So it's like I'm returning the favor at this point. So a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys here at that point. So thank you. And yeah, see you guys all next week. Cheers.